Welcome everybody to the second episode of Adventaria Voliguard. We're going to pick up where we left off with the last episode where our adventurers had taken the quest to save the farm and rescue Jaga Lindlar, which is the son of Augart and Ulia Lidlar. They own a farmstead which was being plagued by something taking their cattle, eating their cattle. During this time, their son went out to try and rescue their farm by destroying whatever is plaguing their farm and went missing. Two travelers, Ivor and Zagon, had just traveled to town looking for work. They spoke with Bon at the feed store, the fishery, and he mentioned that Augart might be needing some help. Augart let them stay in a little shed just south of their farm homestead, and in the morning they set off to go find what it was that was plaguing their farm. They found some tracks that led them into a cave. They fought off two giant rats and then traversed a little bit deeper into the cave, found a hole, and Zagon fell into the hole and he landed right on his butt. And what he's faced with now is he sees two giant rats in front of him. We were about to roll for initiative, but before we do, one of these rats is going to take a sneak attack of opportunity on our Zagon. I keep feeling like I'm saying it wrong.
Zagon, yeah.
Zagon. So the rat is going to go ahead and take an attack of opportunity. So he's going to roll for advantage. This is going to be before rolling for initiative. So 19, I assume 19 hits. 14 is your armor class. So 19 will hit, and he's going to go ahead and hit you for 6 damage.
I'm down to 3 HP.
3 HP. Okay, now we go ahead and roll for initiative. I need you to roll a d20 and add your initiative and see where we're at for beginning.
We're good, bro. You rolled 18.
I'm 19.
I'm sorry, I need a pencil. Thank you. So, what was your roll?
19.
19?
Oh, right.
And that was for Ivor, okay?
And,
You didn't roll.
I didn't roll.
Roll a d20.
I rolled either 11.
12? 12?
12.
12, okay. And then... Okay, just jotting down some quick notes here. All right, so starting us off then will be Ivor. What do you do for your turn?
Second wind can only be cast on myself, can it?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna jump down.
Okay, and you do?
And then I'll go
So the first red die here is actually going to be on his character.
on his.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna jump down and place my hand on, because I'm gathering it's dark still in this tunnel.
It is dark still in this tunnel.
Okay. I'm gonna place my hand on Z's shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull him back a little bit, and I'm gonna roll to stab.
Go ahead and roll to see if you hit.
16.
16 will hit. Roll for damage.
7 piercing.
7 piercing. And does that add your strength
Oh
modifier?
wait, no, slashing. My bad.
Does that add to your, is that with your strength modifier?
No, just 7 damage.
You rolled a
your
1d8
strength.
plus your strength.
Oh, then it would be 11.
Yeah.
11? Okay.
Yeah.
So you essentially, again, skillfully just right through the darkness, you sense that your buddy Z just went down on a pretty big blow. Realizing that just in front of him with his beady blood red eyes, you dash forward and dart straight into the meat of this giant rat. Yeah, straight through. You hear just the first entering of the blade as it hits the chest plate, and then it gives through as it breaks through the cartilage on the chest plate, or on its rib cage, and you feel it just sink deep, and you feel the warm mist of the blood of the giant rat just kind of caress over you as you puncture through its open rib cage, and you pull it straight out. You just hear a curling as it just thumps straight to the ground and is out. Up next.
All right. So Can I use my perception in the dark to see the other rat?
You have dark vision, so you can see.
Okay, so I can see the other rat. So I'm gonna cast my first spell. It's a magic missile.
Okay, magic missile. Just roll to see if the spell goes off. So D20. Just don't roll 1.
5.
5. Okay, spell goes off.
And then a D8, right?
1d8 plus your charisma modifier.
So 7.
7.
Yep, 7 damage.
7 damage. So when you set off this magic missile, you kind of see it illuminate and swirl. Or is it not 1d8?
I think it's 1d4. Here, I'll let you.
Let me see.
This is a D8, right?
That's a d8. So magic missile is 1d4 plus 1 force damage to the target. Plus it's going to be your charisma modifier, which is your spell modifier. So 1d4 plus 1, and then you add your modifier.
A 1d4. Oh, these
The triangle. This boy. Yes.
I rolled a 3.
3, so plus 1's 4 plus your modifier.
So plus my charisma, right?
Yep.
All right, so plus 3.
So 7 total again?
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
okay,
7.
you're getting right back to the same
Okay,
spot. So you cast the spell off, the magic missile goes off. You see it actually kind of whistle around this this little space, kind of building up momentum before it finally just zips straight through the neck cavity, down through the collarbone, out of the rat, kind of like pulling it down to the ground. The force actually knocks it back 1 cube as you hit it, kind of pins it back, and it's startled. It doesn't quite understand what just happened to it. It sees you, saw a light spinning around. All of a sudden, it's just in grave danger. So the surviving giant rat, is now going to strike out against back at you, Z, and he's going to let's see here,
Protection.
10 hit.
10 hit.
You use protection for your reaction, so that rolls disadvantage.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take that 6. So does 10 hit you? What's your armor class?
My armor class 14.
14. No. So he lunges. The rat builds up some momentum, lunges out at you, and as it goes to jump, its foot loses its placement, and it actually slides over right in front of you.
Okay.
Just trying to basically pick itself back up, realizing it's just back down on the ground, and it's gonna head back over to Ivor.
Okay. Hearing that go down, I'm gonna kind of get my wits, and I'm gonna put maybe like my right arm out, and then I'm gonna fill Z, and then I'm gonna stab again straight forward.
Okay. Roll for disadvantage on this
19.
one.
It was a 19, but I hopped out.
So reroll. And you gotta roll again for disadvantage. This one's not right in front of him. You don't know exactly where this one is.
13. So it'd be 13 because I was
13?
18.
13 will still hit, so tell me how it goes down.
I'm gonna push that sword out there and then kind of feel something and be kind of questioning it, and then just instinct's gonna kick in, and I'm gonna hit the back of the sword.
Push it right through.
And push it right through.
And you do. So when you push it through the first time, the rat is finally realizing what's happening this time, much unlike the other attack that Z shot off. And he realizes that this is pretty much going to be it for him. He gets one last breath out before you push it through one more time. And at that point, all life just leaves the creature. And you're basically holding its entire weight with the blade of your blade as you kind of let it slowly just slide out. And the tip of it kind of flicks its head as it collapses right down in front of you. So now you're sitting here in the dark dungeon, or in the dark space. There's no lights. There was 4 red lights, which were their eyes. Light was the only lights in the room, and now those have completely gone out. And you just smell the dead and just rotted flesh that the fur kind of exhumed already, and now you just have this thick iron smell that just fills the room. Hot blood.
How tall are the walls?
How tall are the walls? The walls are about 14 feet high.
Okay.
It's a pretty big space.
We fell down 14 feet.
You slid.
Oh,
so it was
slid.
kind of like it was kind of like a hill up to that hole type thing. So the rats were able to kind of like scurry up the hole, then jump across the space of the hole to kind of head back out the front. And as you do, when you actually slid down that hole, you took note and you heard some sort of like rattling on the front, echoed through the cave from the entrance.
Damn.
Anyways, so what would you guys like to do? You're sitting there in the dark, 2 dead rats.
I'm twiddling my thumbs.
Twiddling your thumbs.
I'm looking around to see if I can find any more tracks that will lead us further into the cave, so we can like find our route.
Go ahead and give me a perception
bearings.
check. Roll d20. Add your perception.
Perception. I rolled 6.
6.
So 9.
9. So what you do is you see vague footprints towards the edge of the room. Up ahead, you look and you see what seems to be a little bit a crevice, one that you kind of have to pass through. If you were to pass through, kind of sideways.
Okay.
But you could definitely make out something in the next room. Like, there isn't just an end to it.
Right.
There's another room up ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through that crawl space and see what further lies ahead of us.
Okay. What are you doing in response?
I can't see anything.
Alright.
Do you say anything to him?
I'm gonna grab Ivor. I'm gonna grab you by the shoulder. I'm like, Ivor, we have to go through this crawl space. Follow me. So I'm gonna make sure I keep a hold of Ivor as we're crossing through this tight space.
Okay.
And so we're gonna go through this space, Ivor.
Okay.
Don't worry, I can see.
So go ahead and start both of your die towards you, Z, like that. So that's leading your orange.
No, I'm orange.
You're orange. Okay,
Ivor's
so swap
orange,
places. So you find another small expanse, and then this time, someone says something. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Oi!
Oi, can you hear us?
And then you hear swiping. Just stay back from me.
Don't worry, we're here to save you. Are you Jaga?
Jaga, yes.
I'm gonna pull out my shield and equip it and kind of keep moving forward.
Because you're just kind of like
Ivor.
up against him, looking down, just like you don't know where to look, kind of thing.
Okay, I'm gonna put my hand on Ivor. Ivor, do you have a torch?
I left him in the backpack.
Where's your backpack, Ivor?
I'm pretty sure it's at the shed.
Don't worry, I'll take the lead on this one, Ivor.
So Jaga, hearing your guys' conversation, Jaga says, "If you get me free of this, I can help. There's torches in my pack. I can't reach it. I'm pinned."
Okay, Ivor, just follow me. I'm gonna slowly walk towards you, Jaga. Please don't swing at me. My name is Z. Just call me Z.
Z, thank you so much. How did you find me?
Your father told us that you were missing for 2 days, and we went out into this cave. We came across this cave an hour's away from your house, and we're here to save you.
Oh my gosh. I thought this is where I was gonna lay for the last time.
Boy, don't let him lie to you. We were just in the area and smelt something.
Don't tell him that. What are you doing, Ivor?
So, and you meet Jaga.
All right. Cool.
This is a fairly young, able man.
Able to get caught in a cave.
Wearing a green leather tunic. He has a belt strap that goes around that kind of keeps up his lower kilt, as it were, as he wears over his pants. And on this kilt, he has his 2 daggers. He has one of his daggers, which he had in his hand, which is not sheathed. He was trying to protect himself. And you notice, Jaga, Z, that he has a terrible injury to his eye. His eye is, you can't quite even make out what's going on. He has a big carve out of the section of his eye, and he's kind of squinting at it.
Okay.
Jaga is visibly exhausted.
Right.
He is very weak. He was pinned completely by rubble that had fallen from these giant rats as they kind of carve out more and more of this cave. Jaga's gonna say, "Thank you so much. I came here to help figure out what was happening to my parents' farm, and I came across these humongous rats. I slayed 2 right at the beginning of the cave entrance. I fell into the hole, and as I did, I crossed through this crevasse moving forward into the cave, and I don't know what must have happened. I heard some kind of rumbling, and I looked up, and part of the cave had fallen on me, and my leg is beat up pretty bad. It hurts less today than it did yesterday, but I'm very, very weak."
Don't worry, Jaga. Ivor, follow me. We have to help Jaga. We got to get this rubble off of him.
Wait. I must let you know, I've been keeping quiet down here because I've heard some sort of chanting or incantations happening.
Oh, that was
somewhere below.
Us. Oh, okay, that wasn't us.
I wasn't screaming out for help because I didn't want to alert whatever may be down there.
All right, don't worry, Jaga. We'll be quiet. Do you have those torches?
I do.
All right.
And he's gonna hand you a torch.
Okay, so I'm gonna hand the torch to Ivor. I'm like, Ivor, quick, grab your flint and let's light this torch. You don't have it, do you?
All in the backpack.
Jago has the stuff.
Okay, Jago.
He can light the torch.
Light this torch so that way we can see in this cave and see what the hell was going on around here.
One torch and one lighter.
So you grab what looks to be actually a very masterfully crafted torch. It's not just a stick with some.
As guild artisans, we can appreciate his work.
Yeah, some sort of flammable on the end. It's actually a hand carved.
As soon as I see it lit, I'm gonna grab it out of Z's hand and start inspecting it.
Inspecting it? Okay. Yeah, and you can see it's actually, it has a base at the top of it that kind of allows for where the flame is supposed to be. And it's kind of like you jam whatever you want to be in that spot to be, to catch flame. Yeah. And the handle and everything is just laden with a bunch of different carvings. And
Ivor, what do you think of this torch?
Boy, I kind of like it.
I do like good work. Good hard wood in that man's hand.
So
it is lit very well. Jaga, where's the rubble? Quick, Ivor, let's grab the rubble and move it from his leg very quietly.
I'm gonna start grabbing.
Okay, give me a strength check.
So 15 plus your strength.
18. So, and you're able to move it off carefully enough from his leg. And as you do, he's like, and you look down at his leg, and it doesn't actually seem to have any kind of like bone puncturing out. It is definitely swollen, and for the first time in 2 days, Jaga's able to kind of like
move it.
He tests and extends it out. Oh, it's actually much better than I thought it was gonna be. It's definitely weak. But I don't think it's broken.
All right, give me another torch. We'll mend your leg with some cloth.
Some cloth? Okay.
So that way you'll be able to walk around.
He actually has
to get the hell out of here.
Now that he's able to access his pack, that's the first thing he does is he starts wrapping around his legs, kind of like stabilize it and give it some more.
It looks like you can take care of yourself.
You got some good wood chips.
He kind of like dusts himself off. He grabs some of his rations that again he couldn't access any of the stuff he was.
Yeah, in his backpack.
And he just starts drinking. He is really needing to recover so much. And
Jaga, don't drink too much too fast. You're gonna get sick.
He wipes his face. Well, I came here to do a job.
So, John?
So, I heard you guys take out some of those giant rats.
Yes.
I assume that's what the clanking, and I heard some thumps that were occurring.
Yeah, I fell on my ass on the way down here. But don't worry, we killed 4 rats on the way here.
4?
Yes, 4 giant rats. I mean,
Two
they were
myself.
huge.
I killed 2 myself, so... is there any more?
We're not sure. We only killed 4 on the way down here, and we found you, and that's the most important thing right now. We need to get you out of here.
And as you hear that, you hear a light humming coming from lower. Just... You can't quite make out what it is, but it's almost like a deep hymn that's coming from below you.
Can I put a dagger in the ground, kind of like listen to it?
Go for it. Give me an insight check.
Insight.
Yeah, that's nice.
Alright, 5 insight. So 16.
16? So you actually can hear as the kind of blade sets into the ground. The rubble in this cave is not very thick.
Right.
It's very porous, which is why the rats are able to kind of navigate and allowed to kind of like create their own pods and ways in and out of this cave. And because of that, you're able to kind of channel the sound, and you hear what sounds to be an old man, a deep voice that is chanting hymns in a manner that you can't quite understand. But it's almost like he's doing it under 2 voices at the same time.
It's like auto-toning, like different.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like that of an old man and that of a deep voice at the same moment.
Ivor, I think there's a demon below us. I'm terrified.
Boy.
I hear sounds. I hear deep hummings. Oh my god, what was your name again? Jaga. How long have you been here for, and what have you like heard? Have you been suspicious of like there might be someone else down below us?
I think the rats are only part of our problem here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think whatever's down there is conjuring these rats and bringing them to our area.
I'm pretty weak at the moment, and you're not weak at all.
I can tell you that if I've been here for 2 days, and So far, I've been kept alone, as you can see, and he points to his face. There was one smaller rat that came in here, and I had to fight him off. He caught me at my weakest point when I was asleep. It'd been a full day, I hadn't heard anything.
Okay.
In it, came in here thinking, I presumed that I was dead, and slashed down right at my eye with its claw. Took out my dagger I had just laying next to me, gave it a good strike right across the face. I couldn't see very well, but I definitely know I caught its...
You definitely made contact.
Definitely made contact with its face.
Okay. Let's try to find an exit. So I'm gonna look around the room and just go out of there as quickly as possible.
Backtrack.
You need to backtrack?
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna backtrack.
The only way out is the same way you guys came in, which is that crevice.
So, you got the torch at the moment, so lead the way.
So as soon as we get back into that other room, I'm gonna, obviously you can see those 2 rats now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do
bodies.
the same thing. I'm gonna walk over with my sword and I'm gonna slice one stomach open, see what's in it, and then slice the other stomach open.
And you're gonna see both of them have just full bellies, full of what is the cow meat, cow hide.
Boy, that makes sense.
These rats are so fat. Why are they attacking us? This is bullshit. So will you use your shield to like kind of carve your like footsteps into the ground so we can climb out of the hive?
Yeah, you can do that.
Since we're craftsmen, I'm gonna take my shield off. Shit, you have a quarterstaff?
I do have a quarterstaff.
Grab his quarterstaff into the
shield,
the things that latch on my arm.
Yeah,
and now I got a big ass shovel. And we're just going to town.
We're artisans. We're gonna carve our way out of the.
I'm scooping the dirt out of the way, and he's making patting it down, making steps,
so that we can walk out of there.
Jaga's slowly,
limping his way
up the steps.
So you guys made your way up to the first level again?
Yeah. So
you're out of the hole.
Out of the hole.
And as you come out of the hole, you hear. Again, the front, where the gate is. Remember that gate that pulled itself back up and put itself on the hole?
Right.
You see this, almost this ethereal mist swirl back around the door and then dissipate.
Okay.
And it shook the front gate the entire time that was happening.
Alright. What was that, Ivor? We just heard there's some weird noises.
Boy, I don't like magic.
I use magic. Don't worry. We'll just walk out of here and see what happens when we get closer to the gate. So once we arrive to the gate, you just bust that gate down like you did before.
We got 2, if I remember correctly, there's 2 chambers before we get back to the gate. And we're in the second chamber now.
Right.
So
we're just
there's only one more chamber.
Move to the first chamber. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and move. And
so just lead the way with your shield, and then we'll just.
And you're right at the door.
Gate,
right there.
And then
well, not right at the door. I want to be back a little bit because I'm gonna.
Do a running start.
We slayed some rats and.
Right, 2 rats.
2 rats in the second. There was nothing in the first.
No, nothing in the first.
It was open. Then you went to the second one. That's what they were.
I gotta back up to the second one real quick and cut off a foot.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut that foot out, and then I'm gonna walk back into the second one, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, let's see," and I'm gonna throw the foot at the door and see if it happens.
The foot just hits the door, bounces off. Nothing.
Ivor, quick, put your shield like this and run at it.
It leaves a little blood splatter on the.
Oh, I just had to check, and then I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pull the shield
in front of you and just run.
Yeah, put it on my arm and run into it.
Okay, and it blasts over just like a regular few planks of wood.
Perfect. So.
Oh, I don't know what that was all about. But let's go.
Jaga, grab a hold of me. We'll walk out of here together.
And he kind of hobbles. He's able to bend his leg, but he's still kind of like testing, putting his weight on it.
That's why I'm gonna have him put his arm around me, and we're gonna walk out of there together while this guy's got his shield right at the ready through the front gate.
Cool.
And so once we make it through the front gate, we're gonna continue. We're gonna get our bearings and check his wounds and stuff while there's light, so we can actually see what it looks like.
So at this point in time, it's heading towards evening time. Okay. You spent about 6 hours or so investigating, 6 to 8 hours or so investigating the cave. Okay. It's not quite dinner time, as it were, but it's getting around that time. Okay. And as you're about to leave that area, again, you see that gate rumble. It kind of gather its pieces. It kind of shattered and broke apart a little bit as you busted open that fencing, as it were. And it kind of slowly reassembles itself and just and puts it right back to where it was, again, with that one piece of board in place, and then that board jumps back out.
I'm gonna turn around and look at that gate, and I'm like,
exactly as it was the first day you saw it.
I'm gonna turn around and look at that gate, and I'm like, oh my god, that thing's enchanted. Quick, Ivor, let's get out of here.
Before we leave, I'm going to shit, I don't want to do this. I'm going to basically break a tree branch,
okay,
and I'm going to use it as a broom to sweep the entrance of that in front of that tunnel, so there's no more footprints, so it basically looks like nothing's went in there.
Okay.
And then on our way back, every other tree that I see, I'm going to be taking my sword out, and I'm going to be putting an X into it. That way we know where that...
Go ahead and give me a survival check.
You guys are on survival.
10.
Okay. And you do. You're able to clear it up to basically be somewhat what you saw before, which was just a jumbled hodgepodge mess of disturbed dirt. Nothing discernible from before.
And also, while we're walking, I'm going to ask Ivor if he still has got my fish from this morning, and we're going to give it to Jaga. Or Jaga. Like, Jaga, you look hungry. Quick, Ivor.
We left that in the cup.
What about we brought the...
we still have the open one, yeah.
Yeah, we brought fish from this morning, and we also got a bundle. Yeah. So we're gonna feed Jaga as we're walking, so that way he can regain some of his strength.
Okay. And Jaga's just very, very appreciative, and he's trying his best to hold back because he knows he should ration it, but he's starved. He's hungry. Exhausted.
So as he's eating, as we're walking, we're telling him that we ran into his father Agard, and we found our way to that door, and we found you. So we're gonna get you back home as quickly as possible. Okay. So we're just gonna beeline straight to the farm.
Okay. And
so I'm noticing that we can't push on anymore because Z looks to be a little bit on the slower side.
I'm literally on like my last leg.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna push back to the farm.
Okay. And it's gonna take about an hour's time to make the journey back to the farm.
And we'll take rest breaks too, because he's wounded.
Before it took you about a half hour to get to that location before tracking.
Okay. So
and about an hour with Jaga slowly kind of like chugging along. And
any animals around?
Give me a perception check.
Perception. I think it's
perception.
Yeah, it's just 10.
Just 10. So you actually do take note that you hear a couple more birds, and you don't take note of any specific animals, but you see branches and things moving in the distance, which is noticeably different than last time. Before, nothing.
There was nothing.
It was very, very clear that you were hearing nothing.
It was also during the daytime, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, you think there'll be more activity in the daytime, so why is there so much activity at night?
So,
Ivor, I'm a little scared. Why is there so much noise here at night?
I don't know. I'm just gonna be curiously looking at
How dark is it?
It is
just dusk.
Yeah, the sun's not quite beginning to set, but not quite as bright as midday.
Okay, cool.
So
we're good.
So you guys start to arrive in the clearing where you can see the farm, and Agart is out in the farm working the field, and he stops. He drops what he's doing. He kind of straightens up. And he looks and he squints. And he looks and he isn't initially super excited about what he sees. Because his son looks like his son, but doesn't at the same time. He's been in there enough time that he's lost enough weight. 2 days of no food, no water. He almost questions whether or not that is his son.
So
at the distance.
I'll just be sitting there signaling that we're alive and we're on our way back with Jaga.
And in realizing that it is Jaga with you guys, he's just gonna start running. Okay. And he runs, and this is a big guy. Think about the biggest linebacker that you've ever seen.
Get your shield ready.
Oi, it's your kid.
We're
gonna go lay down.
Joof. You just see every step. You're just imagining these lunges just being twice as large as your lunges. Incredible speed.
In front of us a little bit. Like, we don't want to be around when that happens.
And Jaga kind of is like limping over, and he's happy to see his father as well. And the first thing Agart does when he comes up to him, and you guys kind of met him like 15% of the way there, because he was so much faster in getting to where you guys are.
Obviously.
And he just grabs Jaga, both hands, just like he's a twig, just picks him up. He's like, he's like, my son! Oh, I thought I lost you!
Pops his fucking head.
And he's just like,
I'll be like, Agart, Algard, be gentle with him. He's very weak.
And in this moment, he realizes that, of course, he lost sight of the fact that his son didn't even look quite like his son because of how withered he was from being out of food.
And how smelly he is,
and his eye. He was completely oblivious to all details other than just realizing his son is back. And he's realizing his eye, and he starts to you just see the blood leave his body. And he is just so much, the father instincts are kicking in, and he's immediately, Jaga, are you okay? Is there anything we need to do for you? And Jaga's gonna look back at him and say, Dad, my eye, it stings, and my leg is pretty busted up, but I'm all right. I think I just need some mending, and I need some time to rest. And he's like, at this point, you see Ulia has left the stand, which is an eye shot from their homestead, and she noticed there was some sort of disturbance as Algard had left, and she quickly shut up the feed stand to make sure that it was nice and closed up. And Ulia sees her son, and she is just, again, very similarly, completely overjoyed, and she herself is quite the sizable woman. She's not as wide and as burly as Algard is,
hips, bro.
but she's got some power in her legs as well. And she comes over and she does the same thing, and she just grabs and says, "My son!" And she just grips him and picks him. He's like,
oh, again, I'm like, Ulia!
Mother!
I'm like, miss, please, be gentle with him.
I'm gonna be chuckling underneath my breath.
And in the same fashion, exactly as Algard did, she realizes that she's harming him, and that he's injured, and that his eye is seemingly just terrible gouge, and goes pale white, just like Algard did. It's like, oh, my son, I will take care of it. I have this. No worries. I know just the thing. And she starts, along with Algard, kind of like ushering him over to the homestead. Right. And they stop just for a second and realize that you guys are still there.
I'll just wave.
You just wave?
Just casually wave.
Thank you so much. I promise I'll be right back. We must take care of Jaga.
No, please, take your time.
My friend Z, a little injured. Shaq still good?
Absolutely, please rest, recover. Anything you need, I'll be out. I'll be back. I promise. I just need to help my son. Thank you so much.
Do you want to go rest, or do you want to go?
I want to go lie down. Yeah.
All right. So
I need to recover.
He's gonna go rest, and I'm gonna go into town to buy food.
No, buy medicine. Buy medicine.
Buy medicine, and
yeah, buy medicine. Buy some bandages, first aid stuff, first aid kits. What's up, buddy? Oh, yeah.
So, and you head off to the shack to rest?
Yes. I'm in the shed right now, and I'm resting. So I go into the shed, I roll out my bedroll, and I just kind of lay my head down onto the bed and just kind of slowly doze off.
Okay.
Trying to recover some of my hit points.
Okay. So we will now move over to Ivor. So, Ivor, where are you going?
To the... Artifact? Oh, no. Well, I'll see the grocery store first because that looks the closest.
It's closed.
Oh, it's closed?
It's closed because that is actually where Ulia has her post. It's the you know that is the Algard's farms stand.
Same with the fishery.
Nope, the fishery is Bond's.
Ooh. Oh, sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to the fishery. And
you see Bond. And Bond, you normally know him as fairly charismatic and lively, and today is not quite as busy as it has been since the last time you were there.
Good.
And typically, his store is quite busy. He's kind of the hot spot of the town for people who just need a quick bite. They're not prepared for their full day for a big meal. They just need some travel gear, and they want to be on their way, and then maybe a fresh fish for their adventure or wherever they're headed. And Bond looks at you and says, "Hey guys."
Boy.
No. Just him.
Yeah.
Hey guy.
What's up?
Got any fresh fish or fresh meat?
I mean, I have a couple bundles left of dry salmon from the other day, but no fresh fish today.
I'm gonna go ahead and take one of those bundles.
Okay, 10 CP. Here you are. And he kind of looks at his very sad inventory. His even his dried fish at this point is dwindling down. The bundles are a little bit, you notice, are a little bit thinner than they were the other day. And he's kind of just hoping you don't really take note. Don't say anything about it.
Oh, but I have.
And you have? Do you say anything?
I am. Oi, what's going on with the shop? Not looking so hot.
I've had some trouble fishing lately. Something's causing me some trouble.
Someone or something?
A little of both. There is a neighboring tribe down at the port of merfolk.
Got some.
And there is a young merfolk who just thinks it's the funnest thing to mess with me. He takes my catches, he destroys my traps, he eats my bait in front of me, away from me, and just chuckles at my plight. For a couple days, he must have been busy or didn't care to bother me, and it was great. I caught a lot of fish. It was great. Just his presence pushes the fish away, and any trap I set, any fish I catch, he just goes ahead and just takes them himself. You know, maybe sets him free if he's not hungry.
What a bugger.
Yeah, it's not great.
Ask if he's got medicine or bandages.
You can't. Metagame.
How much gold do I have?
How much gold do I have?
2.
Boy, that sounds like a shitty situation. We just wrapped up with the farmer. Maybe we can work something out.
You were able to figure out what was going on with the farm?
Boy, yeah, big ugly bastard rats.
Rats! I knew it. I told my wife, and she didn't believe me. She thought it was gonna be pigs, and I said, there's no way that it would be pigs. They wouldn't want to do that. There's no way they'd be able to do that to cast. Ooh! Oh, you just made my day that much better. That much better.
Look at him. I'm glad I can bring somewhat sunshine to your day.
Yeah, he's gonna pepper up a little bit, straighten up a little bit. Just like, I needed that. Just that little thing. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're able to help them out. And you know what? If tomorrow, if you can help me on my journey and get rid of this merfolk boy, I would love it. Now, I assume you weren't very gentle with those rats.
No.
Yeah. I don't want you to kill this boy, okay?
Oh.
We have a good relationship with the merfolk tribe. I can't really openly discuss with them about things. And I presume this is just a kind of a troubled teenager kind of lashing out, maybe getting some fun of it. Either way, it makes my job very, very difficult, but I don't want any problems with the merfolk tribe. If anything, just to kind of scare him off, I think your friend, I don't remember his name, he seemed pretty scary. Maybe just rough him up a little bit.
Okay.
So, okay. Oh, I can't wait to tell my wife. So, anyways, so tomorrow, I want you to meet me middle of the night, about half of a night towards until dawn. And we're gonna set out. Oh, I'm so excited. And you guys can come with me. And here's the deal. If you can help me get rid of this boy, that would bring my stand back, and I'd do so much better. I can give you 40 gold. If you could just make sure that you send a message to him that he's not welcome to be messing with me anymore. And he definitely should not be messing with me anymore. And, well, that's strange. And as he's finishing up with you, he was kind of like eyeballing the center of the room repeatedly, or the center of the foyer, as it were. And he kind of sees someone entering at the gates. He sees a donkey. Just
Jackass.
a donkey, and
Donkey jazz.
a stoic young lad, skinny, but nonetheless very straightened up, proper. Something seems different about his face, and you can't quite make it out. And typically, people come in and out of the town, much like you did, and people take note of it.
The stuff on the donkey, like the ropes and the sheets and the stuff that the donkey's carrying, is it like nicely or is it kind of...
It's, it's okay. It just seems like normal rope, normal...
They bought it, they didn't make it?
No, yeah, it wasn't crafted. It's just usual ropes and stuff like that, and it's hauling a cart, and this cart is filled to the brim with supplies. You see brick, you see wood, you see stone.
Damn.
You see what looks to be some sort of pile of mortar.
God, bro.
And on it, we see enter. What do we see?
You guys see a human. He's about 5'11". His blonde hair is sort of pulled back, but it dreads. So almost shoulder length pulled back in dreads. He's wearing leather vestments with leather pants and big black boots. You see a backpack slung around one side with a crossbow dangling from a waist and a hand axe sort of loosely sheathed in the other side. The most unique feature about him is his eyes. They're green. There's no iris, there's no pupil. It's just straight green with like a swirling of gold and blue and different colors within his eyes.
Demon.
Boy, you don't see much of those every day.
Yeah, there's something strange about his face. And then you look over again, and from the opposite of where you guys are, you just see this thing kind of find its way through, looking back and forth. He's not quite sure what to think of. He's like, what is happening? What is going on? Okay, we get travelers every once in a while. You guys were a lot. This is what and we look over and describe what we see.
We see a 6 foot tall, 195 pound Yuan-Ti pureblood. I have green eyes that aren't like his green eyes. Mine are just a regular green, but like very vibrant, bright green. I have short black hair that's like kind of like not like yours, but like a little shorter than yours. And then I am wearing leather armor. I have a crossbow, and I'm walking in with something in my hand.
Something in your hand?
And you don't know what it is. I'm just holding it.
And the townspeople at this point, some of the people that are kind of like hanging out in front of the tavern, maybe some of the regulars that maybe linger a little bit too long at the tavern before it opens and after it opens, kind of just hanging out in front of it, are kind of just like, they're also taking in the same baffled look, like, what is going on? What makes us so special as of late? So you're walking over, he's walking in, and Bond's gonna go ahead and finish up with you and be like, all right, I'll see you tonight. And
I thought it was tomorrow.
Well,
You did.
it is tomorrow, but it's like,
tomorrow-ish.
yeah, it's technically it is going to be tomorrow, but it's in nighttime, like 3 o'clock in the morning, but you know. So yeah, I'll see you then.
I'm gonna walk out.
Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and where are you headed?
Well, realizing that the grocery store was closed, I'm gonna go back to the
I see him walk out.
Illard house or whatever.
Do I see him walk out?
Yeah, you can see him. So you were grasping the same thing they were. They were kind of stopped and looked at you. He was entering in, kind of like looking at everybody. He sees you. You see that. Everyone kind of like did the same kind of like
double glance.
Okay, like what's happening? Why are we all observing some oddity occurring at the same moment?
Gotcha. Excuse me.
Boy.
Hi, could you point me to the nearest tavern?
I'm gonna kind of look around real quick and go, that one right there.
That's the tavern.
Yeah, and I'm gonna point to this one.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay.
I'm
gonna go ahead and what are you doing? Well, as you're heading to the tavern, what are you doing?
I'm going to be walking towards the grocery store.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do the tavern first.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the grocery store. So go ahead.
So I hitch up my donkey. I assume there's a stable post in front of the tavern?
There is, yeah.
Okay. I hitch up my donkey. It's on the... Now what? It'll be good. And I walk inside. And inside the tavern, I just kind of perceive what's around me, what's going on.
Mm-hmm. So you open up the tavern, and as you do, there's only 1 or 2 people in here at this point. You see one very sullen human just kind of at the table. He doesn't even care that you entered the room at all. He is in his own zone. He has a drink in his hand, and it's just a bit of an oddity because typically they aren't serving drinks at this point. But he has an ale, and it kind of seems like this might be something of his regular scheduled activity of the day. And you see,
Does this tavern have a name when I walked in?
it doesn't.
Okay.
It does not have a name. They've basically, Mara is one of the new owners and of the store. She is a human woman, you see. She's very stoic. She has very clean, striking features. Her eyebrows are very well cut.
She's behind the bar?
She is not. She's actually kind of like observing. She's kind of like moving things, setting things up, straightening things out. And
Who's behind the bar?
You see a younger man, and he is very slowly cleaning out a glass, basically dazing off into space, and he just notices, as you're halfway in the room, that he sees another traveler, and he's like, "Hello, friend. How are you today? Welcome to the tavern."
I'm excellent, thank you. I'm looking for a bit of work and a place to stay for the night.
Bit of work. You can have my job. Just kidding. But, you know, there was something about the farm. The Lidlars, they were having some trouble with the farm, and they did have two other it's weird that you're here. Hi, by the way. My name's Derek. You must be new. We had new travelers that just came in yesterday. It's so strange. We don't get that many travelers, but we're also asking for work, and I kind of sent them over towards the farm as well. Algart comes in frequently, and he's been very sad the last couple of days. It's kind of a huge bummer, but yeah, that's kind of the only thing I would know of right now. Would be helping out Algart if the other travelers are maybe having some trouble. I know that their son Jaga went off to go help assist their farm, and he's kind of a badass. So for the fact that he wasn't able to get that done, I don't know how I feel about that.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna simplify this for a minute.
Yeah.
Work, farm, direction. That's
Yeah.
all
So
I need, really.
if you look out, and he's gonna point kind of like there's double doors. They're not there's cracks, kind of like a saloon double door type situation. You can kind of see, and out through the kind of half crescent that you see of the top part of the double doors, you can kind of see a small, in the distance, homestead. And he's gonna kind of point to that, and be like, that there is that's the Lidlars. And typically at this point, if you don't see Algart on his way over to the tavern from there, he's gonna be wrapping up his day sometime around now.
Wrapping up his day at this early in the morning.
No, at this point, it's actually like there was morning time. They were in there for like 6 to 8 hours. They came back. It's kind of like evening time, evening-esque, early dinner time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
it's like just past midday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets a really early start, and he's a big dude. He gets a lot done.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna turn and take my leave.
Cool. I'll see you later.
I'm gonna go try to find this dude.
All right.
Yep.
And then now we're gonna go ahead and, in that same time frame, go over to what you were doing.
I'm going to just buy food.
Okay. So where do you think food is?
The grocery store.
Okay. Go ahead and walk over there. And it's closed. The grocery store is closed. You're just seeing a fairly well constructed shack that was on the table. And on this shed, you seem to see some very, very plump, luscious vegetables, gourds. You even see some barley, some wheat, very well bundled up. But it kind of looks like it wasn't actually touched at all. Like it was ready to open, ready to go, and it was just closed.
I'm gonna, like, what's the nearest place I'm going to go to? Are any of these places around us open except for the tavern?
So you can head over here to the fishery. You see a gentleman there sitting kind of like a little bit chipper. Got a smile, grin on his face.
Talk to him about the stand.
He's gonna
why it was completely left, like.
So he's gonna say, "Hi, friend.
Howdy.
Welcome to Voliguard. So what can I do for you?"
I want to buy some food.
He's gonna grab a bundle of his
No.
dried
Vegetables.
some vegetables.
Why was their stand left fully stocked with nobody to guard it?
You know, I don't really know. Ulia usually mans that, and you know, like actually, come to think of it, I don't really remember. All of a sudden, I just looked back over and it was closed. Usually, she's there as long as I am. I wonder. I don't know if something happened or what's up. I know that the farm has had some situations that's been going on. There were some travelers that came here yesterday, and you're the second new person I've seen today, which is an oddity here in Voliguard. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you there. Would you like some salmon?
No.
Some dry fish? It's really, really good.
Anybody around here might be able to tell me what was going on?
Well, if you want to know what was going on with the stand, you'd have to talk to who mans it, and that would be Ulia, and she is probably, well, she's usually at her stand right now, but the only other place she typically goes to is home.
Where does she live?
I'm not going to tell you that. Sorry. You want any fish?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Walk out and see if I can see any other place that's open besides this fucking idiot.
And he's literally gonna be like, all right. Like he's just gonna turn and be like, oh, what is, okay. So there's literally at this point, you see that there's the artifact slash library. It's a very, like, you see a very antique building. It stands out amongst the other buildings, but you don't notice it to be of anything that would carry food. At this point, you see a couple more people kind of surrounding the tavern, which is to your left. And that place looks to be in better shape than some of the other buildings.
Let's go there.
Okay, so you go in the building, and you open it up. And you open up the double doors, you see this gentleman here, sitting at the bar, almost ending his conversation about to turn and leave. You see the very stoic woman, very clean-cut features, kind of straightening things around the bar, and very, very well crafted statues and where like the sidings would be. It's just very well woven and beautiful on the inside. Very warm features. And you walk in.
Walk over to the bar next to him.
All right.
And ask if the guy knows where the person who owns the stand lives.
You ask him?
The bar.
Oh. Derek's like,
even though I've turned to stop, as he stops to the bar, I sort of just stop. Just behind him, still facing the door, but I've stopped, and now I'm eavesdropping on this.
Okay. Derek's gonna be like, hi, welcome to the tavern.
Well,
is there anything I can do for you?
Any information on who owns the stand that was left fully full of food?
Ulia's not over at the stand?
No.
That's weird. I hate my job and I still stay there. I don't know what to tell you there. She's quite the... Oh. I wonder if those two travelers were successful yesterday. Maybe they've returned. Oh gosh, I hope it's good news. Because I can only think of one thing that would take Ulia away from that stand is probably seeing her son again. Or some news about him. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Mind telling her where she lives?
I'm not. I mean, I think it's somewhere behind the stand area. I don't really know, man. It's somewhere over there.
Said you want it? She had connection with the travelers, still facing the other way.
Oh, hey, dude. I thought you left.
Where are these travelers?
You know what? Actually, Augar was saying something last night. He said that they can stay on like one of his like a shed or something he has, and they were gonna do go figure out what was going on with his the farm. What was
Augar Lidlar?
Yeah, Augar. Yeah, you know Augar?
I have an idea where they might be. If you want to follow me.
All right.
And I'm gonna ignore Derek and walk out of the tavern.
Today's gonna be fun. All right.
I'm gonna make my way over to the Lidlar farm where he showed me before.
Okay.
I'm gonna be walking right next to him.
Okay.
And his donkey.
Back to you. So, during this time, you left a little bit before he first headed towards the tavern. So where were you headed?
Back to the shack to
Okay,
drop off.
so at this point, you are back at the shack. You are back at the your guys' little shanty that you have.
So I'm gonna drop the dried fish sack off there. He's obviously probably still sleeping.
Yeah, I'm still asleep.
I'm gonna try and walk up to the main residence and see if I can talk to the wife to maybe get a bandage or two for Z.
Okay, so as you do, Augart comes out, and he actually Augart typically, even though his home was crafted with his size in mind, it still doesn't quite. They still try to make it to spec of a normal home, but at the same time adjust a little bit. And his excitement, he typically has to kind of go one shoulder and then the other shoulder to adequately go through the door. He kind of just fucks up his both the door frames as he just blasts out through to see you, and he just grabs you and just bear hugs you and lifts you up. He's
Me?
yes.
Oh boy!
Thank you so much. Oh, I could not be happier. Thank you so much. Oh, I thought I lost my son.
Start patting his shoulder. Put me down!
And he's just gonna drop you, just immediately. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm just so glad to see my son again.
Oh, he was pretty banged up. How's he looking?
He's doing much better now.
Boy, that's good. You by chance don't have any extra bandages for my buddy?
Oh, Ulia! He calls back to her, kind of like resetting himself. He's very proud of his size and his stature. Ulia, they need some bandages, please! And she's all giggly and bubbly too. She's so happy. And she comes out and she hands you first bloody rags, and then she's like, and then she hands you clean ones because they were the rags that he was helping with Jaga. Here, and if you need anything, sweetie, please just let me know.
Okay, I'm gonna grab those and I'm gonna, did you get slashed or cut?
I think I got. I don't know what happened to me.
The rats.
It was a surprise.
The rat bite
It's piercing,
him?
so it's like a chunk.
Okay.
You have like a chunk punctured into you.
So I got a puncture wound.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 punctures from the huge teeth. So it's like being stabbed twice.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it from the front and back?
No, it's kind of it kind of like hit your
like a-
shoulder and like just clamp down on you.
Okay.
And as you do this, Augart, as he set you down, and he called back. When he actually called back, he took note, and he sees these 2 odd figures heading towards his farm. And he kind of like, as he set you down, called for Ulia to come over. She gives you the bandages. He starts walking over, and kind of just puffs up a little bit, resets himself. Hi there. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yes, I heard there was a couple travelers here that might be getting a bit of work done around town.
Yes, they actually just did a great service for me here at my farm.
So I take it the job's no longer available then.
It's not. I'm sorry, it isn't. I'll be honest, I was skeptical if they were going to be able to pull this off, but apparently they did a wonderful job. I'm sorry, I'm elated right now. I got my son back.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that, sir. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go talk to them.
Okay.
And I'm gonna
And at this point,
pass by.
he's gonna like make sure that you're not entering. He's just okay with you kind of being out where he is, kind of like sitting towards the porch area.
Okay.
He was talking to Ulia on the porch, and you're gonna see this gentleman walk up along with.
Holding some bandages.
I believe we briefly saw each other in town.
Boy, you look familiar.
Yes, you gave me directions to the tavern, and to which I'm grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna
Bandages,
walk off the porch and be like, walk with me. We're gonna
Sure.
walk back towards the shed.
Is someone injured?
Yeah, my buddy Z.
I could help with that.
Oh, really?
For some coin, yes.
What? And then when you say that, he was kind of eavesdropping. Augart, you guys weren't too far from him. By the way, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. And he hands you 80 gold. Please split this with your friend. Is he okay?
He'll be all right. Just needs some time to heal and think.
They
And
robbed
maybe this guy can help us out.
And then, if you're gonna be resting today, tomorrow I'll get you your 2 cattle and your chickens, and I'll help you even set up a small little situation on our farm. If you guys want to stay there, you can stay there as long as you need.
All right. I'm gonna.
Sir, would you be willing to sell a bit of land to build on?
What do you have in mind?
Well, I just need enough to build a 500 square foot cabin.
Well,
maybe a little bit of land for some chickens.
how do you feel about having some neighbors?
More the merrier.
So to the left, essentially this is the bear faces true north, so northeast of where that shack is. He kind of has this like plot of just like bare lands, kind of like poking weeds here and there. You can tell all this is very well farmed, very well groomed, and it's assumed at this point that the Lidlar property essentially extends out to the Wildwood. Everyone has fairly large plots here. And he's the biggest dude. He doesn't see you as a threat. He's the biggest dude here, even though you're very
edge near
intimidated.
the Wildwood.
That's fine for me. I could probably give you and he kind of like, he literally steps back and he's like, you know, and he's gonna just point to 2 landmarks. He's gonna point to the kind of like, there's a big burly, it's a helix tree.
Okay.
And it's, the helix tree has a very distinct look to it because it goes up and it has very sparse branches that kind of comb back in an oval. Mm-hmm. Right there at the large helix.
Is it big enough to build a tree house on?
Yes, it is. Okay. And he's right there at that helix, and he's gonna point to another one that's kind of like adjacent. From there to the Wildwood, 50 gold.
Including the helix?
Including the helix.
Done.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out 50 gold.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pay 50 gold. So I'll expect that in writing.
Absolutely.
A fortnight from now.
Yeah. I'll write it up.
Excellent. Now, my acquaintance. I'm sorry. What's your name?
Hesatah.
Hesatah will also be staying with me for a minute.
All right.
Presume.
I'm fine with that.
As they were doing that business, I kind of walked away from it and
No, if you'll excuse
threw
me.
the
Yeah.
bandages at Z.
I'm gonna follow them up to the shack. So I don't see him go.
Shitty.
I don't see him go in the shack.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna tentatively.
So I'm gonna wake up.
You waking up?
I'm like, hold on, don't pound on the walls. They're gentle. You gotta be gentle. They're very weak walls. Oh God, what time is it? How long was I out for? Ivor, what the hell is going on?
From the corner of the ceiling, bandages are gonna drop down on top of you. And I'm like, boy, keep quiet. He's outside.
So
I'm gonna be staring through the
little
cracks.
The whole
at
building. So what you see this very
See them
poorly.
inside, like, what are you doing?
No, you
there?
super can. It's very poorly put together shed. This is like, maybe the shed was here before their house was,
like a work shed.
and they just kind of like, no, we're not gonna do anything to it, but we can use it for something. You know, they might store some basic tools or something in there.
people.
There's big
Right, some
porous
people.
holes through the wood.
Can I hear them too?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. The walls are very thin.
as shit.
Please be careful on the door. What the heck? What is going on, Ivor? Why is this bandages on me? What
This
are
is
you
a competition
doing?
for work. It should be no problem commandeering it. Yes. Would you like some healing or no?
That's on you, Z. Not
yes.
me. I'm not one hurt.
I'm sorry. I'm just waking up
can
from a
see
nap.
you.
What's going on? I mean, I'm sorry. Who are you? What is your name?
Your friend was holding bandages, and from the sounds of it, sounded like maybe someone was hurt. I have a way with fixing people who are hurt, and for a very humble fee, I would be willing to heal up whatever wounds or ailments you may have. May I come in and see you?
Yeah, sure. Come in.
I'm gonna push through. Do I see? So what am I seeing when I walk in? I see you.
So
Is he
I'm gonna
holding the
be
door
like
up?
kind of sitting upwards, and I'm gonna be like kind of holding my shoulder. Just will be blood gushing out from me, and it's through my coat and stuff. So you'll
Okay.
notice that there's a puncture wound on
Okay.
me, and I'm bleeding, and I'm just like literally waking up from a nap.
May I?
Yeah.
We cast Cure Wounds.
Catch.
Goes off. You score 7 points of healing.
So as you do that,
Back to full HP.
yeah, as you do that, you kind of just set your hand over him, and you just see this radiating orb just kind of like going out and out through your arm. And as it hits his skin, it looks like something that would actually at first hurt. It looks like an energy beam being shot at him. And as it hits his body, it kind of just slowly, just like almost like a warm blanket, just seeps in through his skin and spreads out over the wound. And as you see that, you kind of see his skin slowly parting back over the wound as if nothing has happened. As if nothing had happened at all. And you reach down, you look at that, and you're like, what the? And you start moving your shoulder back, and it just feels so good. It feels as good as you possibly could feel in your shoulder.
Oh, I feel so much better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You said there was a fee?
Yeah, typically I do 6 gold and 3 gold for my assistant out here, but since it's the first time we've just met, 3 gold for me and 1 gold for my assistant.
Very well. So I'm gonna reach into my pocket and I'm gonna grab 4 pieces of gold and I hand it to you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pull Z aside.
Excellent work again. Hasana? Excellent work.
I'm gonna pull Z to the side and I'm gonna be like, "Oi, Z!
Ivor.
I don't give a shit that they can hear me, but you just got played, and I'm gonna tell you why." That one guy that just healed you rode in on town on a little donkey, and the other guy walked in from the other direction. It's your call. We can either go one or 2 ways. I'm feeling frisky. I don't know about you.
Wait, hold on. You mean to tell me
I yelled that.
You had string. Well, I'm gonna like kind of speak in a normal tone.
To the owners of the land.
I'm gonna be like, well, hold on, Ivor. You mean to tell me you brought 2 strangers here, and one stranger healed me, and you don't know who this person is? I'm sorry, what was your name?
I didn't give it yet, but now that I have your guys' attention, you guys have just recently, obviously, accomplished something here within this town. And in my experiences where someone's accomplished one thing, typically they're first to be hired to accomplish another. Now you've seen a little bit of what I could do as well as my charismatic features of, as your big friend here said, playing you. Maybe perhaps I could be of some help for whatever jobs you've commandeered now.
I would just like to know your name. I'm gonna use my charisma and intimidation to get the answer out of them. That's all I want. That's all I care about.
Roll for intimidation.
All right, 14 plus 5, so 19 goes off.
So at this point, you look over at him and you kind of get this weird aura vibe from him. He's much more stoic than he was the time before, and he kind of zeroes in you and just simply asks you in almost like a different tone of voice.
Yeah,
please.
So what was your name, please?
We'd just like to let you know.
I would just like to know your name, please.
Pierre.
Pierre. All right, thank you, Pierre.
And yours?
My name is Zygon.
That's why he calls you Z?
Yes. That is my nickname for my friend Ivor here. I appreciate you healing me, and you charged me money for another person whom I do not know because he had walked away. He quickly scurried away. Are you 2 acquaintances?
No, but I
friends?
presume by the way he's following that he's also looking for some work.
Okay.
Now I don't know much about him other than sometimes I can read individuals, and I presume that he would probably be of some help as well.
All right.
Now, when this is happening, Ivor, you were thinking back to the job with Bon at the fishing stand. And when he was telling you the job, you were very excited to assist with another task. But at the same time, you're thinking about all of what you know.
Let me use it.
You're not very experienced in the water, near the water. And whereas tracking an animal on land or a creature was something you were very excited about and knew that your skills would be much more applicable, you were a little bit baffled as to what you might be able to do to stop a merfolk. What would you like to do with that information? That's what you're pondering.
I don't know.
Ivor, what's going on? We have 2 strangers here.
I'm gonna let
one
you 2
stranger.
discuss this in privacy, and I'm going to build a cabin. I'll be done in a couple hours.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's gonna strike both of you.
Okie freaking dokie.
That's gonna
Wait, hold on.
And I go back out to my donkey. I say, all right, let's go, Web.
Hold on.
Give him a little smack on the ass.
Ivor, did this man say he was going to build a cabin in 2 hours?
Are you gonna start heading over to the other helix tree?
Yeah, I'm gonna start building. Just first, I'm gonna throw together a ladder with my artisan tools. I'm gonna start building a treehouse.
And you guys are gonna see
Did this man just say he's
yeah,
gonna build a
you
cabin in 2 hours?
you
saying
guys
that,
are
I'm
gonna
already
see this.
out.
Yeah, you guys are actually like.
I am like fine tooth combing everything he's doing, going, oh my god. I'm
Yeah,
like that.
and for the first
As a
time,
woodworker, I'm gonna turn and be like,
as the first time in a long time, both of you are almost stopped in your tracks by what you are witnessing. You are witnessing someone put together something at 3 times the speed at which you are accustomed to typically putting something together as. You're seeing him use techniques that you haven't heard of before. Being masters of your craft, you are witnessing something that you feel is from what could be only be described as some other teacher from a foreign land crafting some beautiful work. And it's just simple. It's very, very simple shapes, but you're astounded at the speed and architecture that he's able to pull off. As are you. It's just, there's almost like a mist of aura of just what's
So all 3 of us are basically like,
you guys are just
watching this.
Yeah,
happen.
you guys stopped what you were doing, and all 3 of you are just like,
I'm
gonna slowly walk back over to these guys. Like, are you seeing what's happening?
hearing that. I'm gonna nudge
What on earth?
Z.
This guy is like really good at what he's doing.
be like,
I appreciate this art.
I am a woodworker myself, and this is astounding.
So are we. We're guild artisans.
You guys
We're
are
woodworkers. Yes. And this shanty shack that we've been sleeping in is horrible.
It is.
I don't appreciate sleeping in this area. And this man right here is a true artist.
I'm gonna take a break and start playing my flute.
yeah.
It's horrible though. It's
And
like
you hear,
horribly out of
and
pitch.
it's hilarious because you can tell that however amazing he is at crafting his structure, you realize at this moment this man is not very good at a whole lot of other things. He is a god at crafting.
I'm not gonna lie,
but
guys.
he is learning his flute. It's
Do you guys? Wow. Bro.
Bird stop chirping.
Ivor.
Knocking away.
Ivor. I'm sorry,
like-
I didn't catch your name. What was your name?
You can call me Hess.
Hestia? Hestagon?
Hessatal.
Hestatal. Hestatal, do you hear this man? He is a great worker, but his flute, I can't stand it. The birds have stopped chirping. We must... Oh my goodness. Ivor, what is happening?
I'm just
Hestia,
gonna be
do
confused
you know
on like
this guy that's working
what
on
I'm
this tree?
seeing and everything else, and I'm just gonna holler.
Also,
Oi!
keeping your gold.
P, when you're done, come find me, and I'm gonna walk back to our shack.
Turn back around
Okay.
and walk off.
So
I'm
Where's
gonna
the guys again?
kind of reach my hand out, but you're like too far away. I'm like,
were you reaching to? Were you guys? Were you heading?
Back to the owners.
Okay, back to the main homestead.
As you're walking, I'm like, wait, come back.
I was like, I told him my name, and I was like, oh man, this guy's like dope. And I was like, also, I'm keeping this, and turn around and walk off.
So Augard's gonna come back out again. He's kind of been observing. He's appreciative of all of what he's earned this day, getting his son back, the sense that his farm is safe, and basically with those 2 things combined is made him a little bit more open than he typically is about letting some people on his property. And he had no intentions of selling his property, but he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. This is I'm feeling good. I'm so happy, and he's gonna kind of meet you at his porch. What is it? What do you need?
I heard you guys own the produce stand.
Yes.
I would like to buy some produce.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot that, William, no one's there to sell at the stand. She must have just closed up really quick. Please.
Still just sitting out there, by the way.
Yes, trust me, no one in town is gonna mess with our stand. But let me go ahead, help
How
you.
much can I get for this?
He's gonna take it. He's gonna look at it. He's
I'm gonna go ahead and give you one of these back from them.
this is fine. You can pick. I have a nice.
Oh, right. So
plus-
you
yeah,
gave
you
me
get
a plus 40
gold.
Right, I already got that.
I call it my weekly bundle. And he's gonna give you, essentially, he's gonna walk you over to the stand. And on the stand, he has like assortments of each individual vegetable. Then he has a couple like, almost like bundle baskets. When it's like 1 week's rations, 2 weeks rations, like bundles of different assortments. And he's gonna hand you one of these bundles. And you just take that. This'll do it.
I just grab it and I
Yep.
walk back over to these guys and I'm like, I got us some food.
Thank you so very much.
And it's gonna be-
quite
I'm
hungry.
gonna walk down.
A lot.
So
Like,
I'm
I got food for all of us.
I'm gonna go back into the shack and I'm gonna grab something like dry salmon or just dry fish. I don't know if you like dried fish or not, but I'm gonna grab it and we'll kind
There was
of make a spread.
Guy in town that was really adamant about trying to get me to buy some of his fish from.
I'll grab
Oh,
some ale.
you mean bond?
Cart.
Yep.
Okay.
And just like I only have the one mug, but feel free.
Don't worry, I have an extra mug. I'm good.
And you're gonna.
Beautiful mug.
Do I recognize it?
You do. You recognize that from the tavern. It
recognize
looks
that from
very
the
similar to all the other mugs that were laid out.
I've gotten this from the tavern. Don't ask me how. So I'm gonna throw it down.
And so you guys just gonna kind of eat, hang out, chat, talk.
I'm gonna
Get to know each other.
Yeah.
So thoroughly just lied to these sons of bitches and like used his money to buy us food.
did you and Z get an opportunity to talk about Tess and I joining you guys on any work? Do you have any work, for starters?
Yeah. I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna be like, if you're interested, the Bond, the fisherman that owns the fish market, is looking for somebody that can maybe chase out merfolk for him. He's having a hard time down at the port catching fish there.
Hold on. So you found another job for us, Ivor?
Yeah, when I went to go get some bandages.
I'm a racist.
Great. But I think we should like definitely look into that cave again because we were hurrying on those like.
That's what I'm thinking.
Sounds. Well, I think we should finish that job before we take on another task. What do you feel about that?
Exactly, Z. So hear me out. They take the new job and we finish out the old job.
Okay. Well, you want to explain to them the new job and
Perhaps our
Okay.
feats are best suited as a group.
I agree. So there's this cave that we found the Magart's son in that had giant rats in it, and as we were
Giant
in
rats?
that, yeah, as we were
giant?
in
Big ol'
that,
uglies.
as we were in that cave, I put my head down into the ground and I heard chanting that there might be
about the same
a
size,
summoner
yeah.
for these giant rats
Are
that
there
would have been
giant snakes?
plaguing the lands and taking cattle from Agard. And I would like to see this job through before we take on another task. How do you feel about this?
The chanting intrigues me. When does this fisherman want his job done?
Time of day?
It is evening now. It is the dark is setting in. You know that to be probably about 5 hours from now is when you're supposed to meet the fisherman to go help assist with the merfolk.
Feels like 7, 8 o'clock at night?
So
Yeah.
How far is it to this cave?
it's about a 30-minute
About an
walk
hour.
from here. No, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Since you guys know the direct path and you're not hindered by anything at this point, you're not tracking.
Not to mention you left markings on those trunks.
this is about
on the
30
way there,
minutes. It's
so
about
it's
30
about
minutes
a 30-minute walk from here.
Well, seems like we're well fed and well rested.
Would you like to head out?
I would love to if you guys are up for it.
Estela, will you be joining us? All right.
That's tough.
Ooh,
Okay.
I'm getting excited.
All right.
I'm gonna
So-
pop up and run back to the shack.
Okay. And you got a short rest on yours, so you did not get all of your. Wait, no, he healed you, so you're good.
Yeah, he healed
You're
me
healed. You're
back,
fed.
yeah.
Okay. So
I don't know about my spells. Well, I think my spells cause a short rest, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah, so
you're
we're
good.
all-
So what are you taking with you?
I'm grabbing the whole backpack this time.
Okay.
It's like a 30-minute walk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just have everything I have on me, and I'm gonna like walk out into the woods real quick before.
Okay. So give me a perception check. Where are you heading?
Just out past like where he has his like stuff in that little wooded area.
Where his donkey is.
Yeah.
That's my token, by the way. For now.
14 plus my perception is 2, so 16.
So you just basically notice that you hear some birds chirping. You hear some or not some birds. You actually start seeing bats kind of wisping by.
I'm gonna start.
You start slowly seeing little luminous
we're
lights picking up from the distance, and little almost like mice chattering, squeaking little tiny voices, giggling, and you start to see all these glowing little lanterns kind of floating and heading swarming towards the town. And you don't seem to notice anything too out of the place. The lights are a little bit strange to you though, but nothing threatening, nothing
search for
ominous.
snakes.
Do I see the lights coming out of the forest?
Well, we're in a group, and he
went off to the
separate
side.
He went off on the side.
Yeah, I went off by myself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't- you're from where you are, you don't see it.
I'm hunting for snakes.
Nope, there's nothing in the area currently. No, there's nothing out there. You don't receive
I was
anything.
gonna-
You just see
I'm gonna go hunt
pixies.
rats. I'm
Can
gonna,
I
I'm gonna get
roll
my.
to remember if I saw any pixies when I was in town a minute ago?
You did not.
I
Oh,
did.
no,
You
because
absolutely
it
did not.
wasn't nighttime yet.
As we move to the
During day
forest,
last time.
whenever we do get in range of Tess, I'm just gonna be like, you know, the staying as a group thing. It was a suggestion, but you know, maybe we stay as a group.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just
Yeah.
don't want to lose you. After all,
Yeah, we all just met each other. I think it'll be good. We stay as a group so we can know each other better and have better work skill.
Okay.
Work together.
And you guys head off.
what he said.
and you all head off in the path led by Ivor.
So Ivor's leading us, and we're heading south.
You are
Southeast, right? That's where the cave was?
Yeah, it's actually just east.
Okay, so
East
we're just
of
heading
your
east.
shack.
Okay, so we're heading east.
And when you get there, you are again met, and I'm gonna pass this around. You are met with this hole in a wall, as it were, which is a beginning of a cave. Here, let's see. I won't focus out.
No, it's not gonna focus. That's all right. It's a really pretty picture, though.
Try again.
No, it won't. Yeah, it's not. But basically, you see this rock face, and on it you see what looks to be like a very hastily made fencing that was just kind of propped up against this hole. You guys recognize it exactly as it was the first day that you saw that. You see that one board has been kicked out of the fence.
I'm gonna grab that little piece of board. I'm gonna be like, Z, let's see. And I'm gonna turn around and I'm just gonna huck it as hard as I can behind us.
Huck what behind you?
The piece of board that was laying on the ground.
Yeah, the board that was laying on the ground that was kicked in from the door.
And
And you do.
like, just wait.
Hold on.
Just wait.
And it kind of goes off in the bushes.
And then
you hear it wrestle. And slowly that board goes back into the door.
Interesting.
Into the door. And then pops itself out and puts itself right where it was before you threw it.
And that's all we got to show.
So this door
Keep out. That's very subtle, by the way.
And then as he says that, I'm just gonna move the whole thing off to the side and be like, well.
And I'm gonna ask you to get a torch ready for us. That way everyone can see.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna step in. I'm gonna cast the cantrip light.
Okay.
So orb of light boom, illuminates, and I can control it. And 20 feet in front of us is completely illuminated.
Oh,
So
awesome.
The first expanse that you guys remember is completely illuminated. You see every detail up on this etched cave ceiling, and you can see parts where it just looks like normal formations. Then you see almost like claw marks and scratches, and it's as if the rats were kind of like climbing up the walls and then sliding back down, and climbing up the walls and sliding back down, and they were kind of like forming out this space how they wanted it to.
Yeah.
And again, this time around, the first hallway completely cleared out, leading into the next expanse, but you can't quite fully see the whole thing in that second expanse yet. It doesn't illuminate enough into that next room.
The next one.
Okay, so we're gonna just like talk to these guys and let them know that there's 3 spaces that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
And each space you'll notice that there might be blood or a dead rat that we've taken out previously going through the cave. So as we're heading through the third entrance, we're gonna see this hole right here, and I'm gonna tell you guys to be a little careful because you will slide down there. And so we're gonna go to the hole, and then we're just gonna.
I'm gonna investigate each room as we're going.
Okay, so you're gonna investigate the first room. Is everyone in the first room right now? Can we get something on the board here?
Yeah.
Treat the panels. Ignore the drawings.
So, I'm behind whoever's leading. Directly
Ivor's
behind
leading
them.
this.
Ivor's leading. What color are you?
I'm black.
He's the gray.
The gray. You're black.
So I'll basically be the end piece.
He's brown.
So at the you're in the first room. You don't notice anything. It just looks like a cave entrance. But as you guys are standing in that entrance, that door puts itself right back up back behind you guys. You see some dust kind of like kick in as it does so, and then that little board pops back out again. But then it starts rattling again. Keeps rattling. Up against the wall, just scratching and scuffing against that cave entrance.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's.
Can I investigate? Can I make an Arcana check and see what kind of spell, what's happening with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my Arcana is a plus 12.
Plus 12 is dope.
So 17.
So 17. So what you realize is that there's
Earth, do you get
So I'm a human, and so I have the prodigy feat, so you can double a skill.
yeah. So what you realize is happening is this is some sort of almost like a kitty door. There's something that's activating and deactivating this door repeatedly.
So like it's some sort of arcana magic reaction.
A reaction, yes.
And so
to
there's
another
a blip
trigger.
in between before it reacts.
Yep. Every time you realize every time that it's shaking, it's essentially activating on, off, off.
Gentlemen, we need to find a beacon, a switch, something, some sort of enchantment is firing off and causing this to happen.
And you noted that it happened 4 distinct times.
Seems to be some sort of pattern of 4.
So we'll keep our eyes.
Should we push on?
We'll keep our eyes
I
peeled.
believe I've...
So we'll continuously. Ivor, I'm gonna yell, Ivor, quick, lead us to the next room.
So then we'll go into the second room.
Okay.
Can I check traps before we enter this room?
Yeah. Got it.
I'm gonna pull out my crossbow.
4 plus
Just
6.
touch it and hex warrior onto it.
Okay.
13.
Put it back.
13. So you actually do notice something's a little bit different. Or you notice something in this second room.
Okay.
Very crude, very simple, almost like, are you joking? Type trap. Like, was that supposed to work? It is a dugout space in the ground, right? No cover whatsoever, and some jagged sticks just stuck hastily.
Is there any blood on the sticks? Does it look like it's
freshly
ever been sprung?
freshly cut shards of wood that are just etched out, only just enough to go to the ground level of where it was dug out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's level, dug out, and then they come just to where the level place would be. Almost like it's incomplete.
I'm just gonna kind of pull them to the side so someone should step in it. They won't step on a stick.
Okay. And you guys all enter the room.
Reach down, look at the wood, and notice if it was like the tree, if it was the wood from the trees outside of the den, or if
Go ahead
they
and give
came
me
from
a
somewhere
survival
else.
check.
Survival. Is it always 0? 9.
9. So you're not quite sure if you can make out whether or not it was from this area or if it was super fresh or not. You just know it to be just like a generic chunk of wood. You can't really take out any specific details.
Okay. So what's the soil like around the area?
The same. It's tuft, fresh, turned up.
Turned?
Yeah, kind of like there's been some scurrying around in this area. You can tell that we could tell it was recently dug up. Recently dug up. You've been gone half a day.
Yeah, half a day.
This is a new.
Okay,
this
so
room was different to you.
is there any footprints, like rat footprints from before? Or
No
is there human prints?
footprints whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
So
Shall we move on?
I'm gonna lead them over to the wall where there's the crack in it that we've
Dug
made
out.
bigger, and go through there into the third room.
And you're gonna notice this hole is about 40% bigger than it was before. More of it has sunken into itself.
Again, I'm just gonna do an investigation check in this room, just sort of look around, see if I see anything.
You don't notice anything other than a bunch of footprints that are kind of like sporadically jarred around this hole. And they kind of look similar to this. Their shape.
Can I roll to see if I identify what that footprint is?
You can't give me investigation.
25.
25, you notice those to be giant rat footprints.
Okay. These the rats you killed?
Boy,
Yeah, we killed about 4 of them on our journey through this cave.
then
Which is strange because you would think we would come across those bodies and we haven't. I kind of noticed that each room we went into, there wasn't a
Clean,
body.
spotless.
yeah.
So your
There wasn't any
chanter
blood.
is here.
And I'm gonna kind of look in the hole at the hole in the middle of the room, and I'm gonna look over at P, and I'm gonna be, "Oi, I think we'll find him down here." And I'm just gonna 1 foot out and
in that hole,
drop down.
do we still have those steps that we made?
They have been softened out.
I figured as
Ivor,
much.
the ground has been softened out. There's definitely someone here.
He's already in the hole.
I'm
orb
sliding down
is
it
now
already.
just sort of like sitting like hovering right next to
And
me,
as-
sort of
and
ready
since
my
you-
arcane focus.
As you were closer into that hole, the light kind of spilled in, so he was able to see straight down into at least where he would be dropping and walking down.
And I'm going to move that light source too to
Okay.
where we are. But I also have my focus, my orb focus, that ball is now sort of humming around me, sort of like ready for spells and whatnot. And
What are
I'm
you
just
doing?
gonna follow him down.
I'm just gonna go in.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna get my light crossbow out there ready.
okay. So as you enter this room, you, then you, then you, then you. I'm gonna go ahead and need you to roll initiative.
17.
17.
Where'd my pencil go?
I heard you're a warlock too, bro.
Roll
one.
a 2, so 3.
Okay.
Can I
High or
roll a
low?
12?
High or low?
Yeah, see who goes first. Slow. You can get to go before me.
Okay. So number.
What'd you get?
What'd you get?
17.
17. And then you were 17 also.
Correct.
That was a 3, bro. How did we survive?
What'd you get? 4 and then 3.
Yeah.
5.
Big yikes.
How did we survive
I rolled
this,
a
Ivor?
3 and he rolled a
I'm
2.
rolling low numbers, Ivor.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and before I describe what you guys are seeing.
Hold on. Excuse me for just a second. Pass some gas.
Don't worry, he's using an invisibility spell.
Yeah.
Can't see him.
Invisibility is a high ass level, though, isn't it?
Like 3.
You have to go level 6.
What? No.
Yes.
We're breaking the 4th wall. Stop it.
Okay.
One second. Okay.
So as you guys enter into this hole,
I somehow slide in first.
you slide in first, followed up very closely by your light switch, and you guys just kind of tumble in back behind him and kind of tangle up on each other as you fall to the base.
Ivor, I'm sorry.
The light slowly pushes over the room. And as you see this light slowly push over the room, you see 3 snarling giant rats. Their beady red eyes slowly start to fade and lose their luminosity as the light kind of reveals them all. And you see just this very coarse, patchy hair, almost seeing straight to the skin in some areas just because it's so thick in each strand of its fur. And their teeth, just one huge tooth. You know, you would see a rat and it has 2 large teeth that meet in size and 2 smaller ones below that. These have 1 large gangly tooth and the other one doesn't quite reach that size, and lower teeth kind of the exact opposite of that. Kind of almost like in a scissor chomp for their bite. And they're just foaming at the mouth, ferocious. They are actually larger than the large ones you guys initially fought in this very same room. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw those out on the board. So you guys are...
You want these?
Yes, those are better.
How many are there?
3. And you were first? You're first here?
D10.
Rat.
Both of them are D10s.
Rat.
Oh, they both.
Rat.
They're together. They're percentile dice. That's why one has, because they combine for
zeros.
100. Yeah.
Okay.
So, just a second.
Lovely.
Lovely. So,
Please, the hex blade.
Huh?
you can go ahead
Person for warlocks or whatever. I just the hex blade guy.
and
You're a Hexblade Warlock? I'm a Warlock.
go ahead and go. Do whatever you're gonna do.
I'm going to shoot the first rat I can see with my crossbow.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my charisma because I have atoned it with the hex warrior.
Okay. Nice.
So 16 plus 4, so 20, and I hit it for 8.
You hit it for 8. So, it's your crossbow.
Totally just jumped
So as you see this snarling rat, it's actually not even paying attention to you. It was looking through, and it was staring at these two, kind of tangled in the back. It sees that their positioning is a point of weakness, and they was just focused completely on their entanglement in behind you. And you shoot. It has no reaction whatsoever as the bolt just crosses straight through one of its eyes and back out the back, and it pauses back like this. The shot actually lunging its head back, and you see it in shock and unable to react as if you paralyze its movement, but its consciousness is still there as blood just trickles out its face and out the back of its head, and just slams its body onto the ground. Blood just shooting straight out of its mouth, and it's out. The other 2 rats snarl up and puff up and look over and notice this happening at the same time. We head over to Pierre.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
So, 4 plus 3. Oh, but it's a spell. So
it goes off.
Yeah, it goes off for 8 plus 4, 12 points of damage.
Damn, son.
You see like
Damn.
the orb, and I sort of, you see like this Eldritch, and as I shoot, I say, Fiordalise!
And as you do, you just see this ginormous, just vibrating orb just come and pass straight at which rat?
This one over here.
This one. Which one did you kill? This one. You killed that one.
Okay,
so this
so
one
one incinerator.
Okay. So is this what's dead on these things? On this stuff?
I just go blink. Blink for dead.
So as you shoot this, the orb,
these things up.
the rat is slowly just witnessing what had happened to its comrade, and it's looking. It's just barely one eye is just caressing and looking over. And as you see the orb shaking, it's almost like gaining momentum as it gets closer and closer, and passes straight through the rat once. And all of a sudden you see it repeat back and go right through it and just blast its head completely off. You see a little trickle, little piece of its spine sticking out of its neck as just spray. You smell the thick iron blood smell just fills up that small cavernous space as its body just
It's a D10, right?
lumps straight forward and just blood just oozing straight out of where its head used to be. And we move over to Z.
Alright, so I'm gonna cast Firebolt on the remaining rat.
Okay.
It's a spell, so the spell goes off and I do 6 fire damage to it.
6 fire damage on the bolt. So as it hits it, this rat, seeing its 2 comrades just go down, it actually prepared itself.
Sure, right.
And it just barely allows
It's
us.
a cantrip, sorry.
It's cantrip?
Yeah, cantrip.
So it'll be 6, and since you're sorcerer, plus your wisdom modifier.
Oh, okay.
So 9
or
damage.
charisma modifier, I'm sorry.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah, 9 damage.
So it does 9 damage. So
Okay.
it witnesses its 2 comrades going down, tries to react just in time, and you can see it start to like begin its scurry, and this fireball just goes straight through and just ignites its whole corpse. And you see the flames reach out, almost like it's going to start to be a problem in this small space, and then just sucks back in. The rat just completely charred and just lays flat on the ground. And you guys completely just annihilated these rats.
I want to grab the as many teeth, the long tooth. I think the one his might be still good, but I know these two we fucked up their faces. But that long tooth, I'm gonna pluck it and put in my inventory.
Yeah. Okay. And you do. You have no problem. You realize, and you've done this before, and you realize how much. Typically, it doesn't take too much effort for you. There's a certain point in the tooth, typically, where you just apply the right pressure, and this thing just comes right off, and you're in the right spot, and you're like, oh, and you really had to give it a go, and you're like, okay, that's something different, and you're able to pluck that off, and you put it in your pouch.
You never know. I'm gonna investigate the bodies and see if there's anything else worth grabbing or looting off them.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
20.
20. So,
Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure it's 20. I'm pretty sure I have a +4. Investigate. Oh, I'm sorry, 22.
22.
+6.
Yeah.
Brutal.
DM.
And you're checking out which rat.
The one that didn't get charred or blown up through an Eldritch Blast. Just the one where its face got shot through.
You're not noticing, aside from the tooth, you're not noticing anything out of the ordinary that you would expect from a giant rat that you've seen in the past. It doesn't seem, it actually seems to be somewhat completely uninjured. Usually such a creature like this gets itself in a lot of squabbles, a lot of scratches, a lot of dangers and issues, and it seems very clean. They're dirty, but not injured, which is strange. Usually scarred up, like that you would see of like an old whale in the ocean or something. Just clean.
Do I notice if it's magical arcana in any way? Like, has it been summoned? Is it
You do.
formed?
You notice that this was a formed rat. This wasn't one that was captured. This wasn't one that lived its life up to this point. This was essentially summoned to existence.
Did you guys know these rats were not naturally born, but lab rats per se? Created.
Actually, we did not notice that. All we noticed was that it had cattle remains inside of its stomachs.
Cattle remains?
Yeah, it was plaguing the lands, and they were taking the Agarth's cattle.
Oh, they were eating the cattle.
Yeah, they were eating
Rats
the cattle.
eating cattle.
Yeah. That's what
Have you
we've
seen
noticed, and we
anything like
also
this?
noticed that there was cloth inside of one of the rat's guts as well.
Cloth.
So it might
As
have
in
been
clothing.
Yeah, clothing. That might have been from when they attacked Jaga. Or Jaga. But we haven't noticed any like summonings or conjurings of these rats until I heard like hummings from the underground. So we assumed that might have been the case, but we haven't investigated until now.
This is
Looking around the room, is there any more cracks in the wall or any more tunnels going down?
Don't notice anything too different about your current room, other than the crevasse that you guys went through before.
That's 40% bigger.
Is larger.
Yeah.
It is. You guys can all comfortably walk it. I mean, if you were to go like this, you'd hit the walls, but it's not a tippy toe side to side and have both walls pressed against you crevice anymore.
By the way, a wonderful shot. The firebolt was quite impressive.
Thank you very much. And you are quite very, very skilled in your craft.
You travel alone, you have to learn a few things. Part of survival. Could probably attest to. Alright, shall we head on? I'm gonna move my floating light. Actually, it's no longer floating because I broke concentration. So I'm gonna say, excuse me. I'm gonna summon up another light and then push it through that door.
And you do, and as you see it goes through that crevice, you can see the spot where Jaga
said there wasn't.
No, are we backtracking?
Huh?
Are we backtracking now? Or?
No, I thought you were going forward towards the crevasse, were you not?
Well, I'm sorry.
we went
I'm
down
sorry.
the
The
hole.
crevasse.
You went down the hole, you went forward, and then there's a crevasse in front of you.
Oh, okay.
When I asked you what was in the room, you said nothing. That's why I was like,
Oh, I thought you meant nothing changed.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's what we were asking. I was like, is there anything else in the room? We're like, no, there's nothing in my room.
There's just the crevice that was in front of
sense.
nothing
Right,
physically in the room other than the three
Yeah.
dead rats.
Okay.
And the crevasse, he pushed through, and the light illuminates, and you guys can see the spot where Jaga was crushed by the debris, that you move the rock over, and you see that. But something you see that's different that you actually didn't take note of before. There's actually almost like a staircase carved out hole. This one looks to be not simple, not as simplistic as the other, just kind of like scratched up areas. This one looks like it has been similarly dug to how you guys made your staircase. And it kind of looks like it spirals its way down and then around and left. It goes left as it goes down.
Tired of getting dirt on me.
And-
we have to descend down that again.
And you hear that hymning coming back, that dual voice, where you hear an old man and a deep, deep voice occurring at the same moment, different hymns.
We all hear this?
You do. You all hear it happening. And it's coming up through the crevasse and echoing through the beginning portions of that third cave.
This is the humming that I heard when I was in this room previously.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Should we proceed with caution?
Or not, but we proceed. I'm going to go first.
Okay, you're leading in first?
You're gonna lead. And I'll be right behind you.
And as you do, you open into a room, and your light is in front of you. You see, over to your left, a bookcase. On this bookcase, full of books, all in very, very nice, clean order. You see one that seems to has slipped off, that has a little bit less dust on it than the rest. On top of that, you see mason jars filled with a mysterious liquid with different kind of like bones and skulls and chunks of arm and different just oddities on top of this bookcase. Further down the room, you see a very crude bed. 4 posts, some hide, bundled up cloth, and in the middle of the room, facing away from you guys, you see a very lengthy humanoid person. He uses this big hunch on his back, almost like his shoulders are sinking too far forward, and gangly long arms, points on his fingers, his head kind of jarring and cracking and snapping as he moves back and forth.
Still facing away from us?
Still facing away from you guys.
As everyone kind of comes in behind me, I'm gonna sort of look at them.
Wait, I think you got this one.
Just be ready. I see you're a scholar as well.
And he's gonna start chuckling. So you're the ones messing with my rats.
Well, I believe you rats first messed with us. But yes, what is this?
And he's going to instantly turn around. You're not going to notice or perceive him turning. He's almost just going to completely transpose his position facing you.
Well done. Well done. Abjuration.
Oh, yes. I've learned a trick or two in my time.
I'm gonna walk over to the book that's not in, and as I'm sort of walking over still, I'm gonna slowly pick it up, sort of rifle through it, kind of look at him, look back at the book. What is it that you're studying here?
Oh! And then as he says that, you just see the back of the wall where the staircase just collapses all in. I don't think I'll need to be answering that. And then roll for initiative.
It's unfortunate.
But I'm going to take your initiative and then we're going to take a quick intermission.
Okay.
So, you guys witnessed as he had just sprung, instantly turned around, collapsed the door behind you. And as he does, and he spouted, I don't think I'll need to be telling you this. And he's going ahead and cast Magic Missile. Now, we need to lay out. We have, those are the 4 of you.
Yeah, I'm actually
So, give the layout of the room
here
here.
to the left.
He's casting Magic
I
Missile?
don't know where you guys are, but I'm kind of here to the
Magic
left.
Good to know.
Put him
Actually, yeah.
like this. He's like this.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll be like that. Yeah.
Nice.
If they cast Magic Missile, shield.
So, for his turn here, he's going to cast Magic Missile and he's going to actually strike out at the 3 triangles.
Oh, I'm going to cast shield as a reaction.
Protection.
I'm gonna
on
cast shield as
I have a
well.
+5.
Can you cast
I'm gonna
Protect on
cast.
yourself?
I'm gonna
I
cast
thought I
shield
could.
as a reaction.
I think protection's reaction against
If not,
for an ally.
I guess I'm throwing it on him.
No, I got shield as a reaction.
Yep.
Reaction shield.
Unless you wanna.
Who's the cube?
I'm over here.
Okay, so you can't cast reaction on your or the protection on yourself, as far as I'm aware. And he's going to hit who's the black one?
I'm black. He's gray.
That's right.
I'm gray.
So 4 points of damage.
No, you take no damage from Magic Missile if you cast shield.
Yeah.
Is that what it does?
Yep.
Okay.
So I took all the damage.
And you'll take 3 points of damage. So what you see him do is you see him kind of like his body almost like clockwork movement. It's not very fluid in how he moves, and he conjures up a magic missile, tosses it out, and when he does, they all 3 converge, go up and split, and come straight down on Hess, Ivor, and Z. But as it casts down on Hess and Z, their shield is cast. You see this radiant circle just come up and just cast right in front of them and just get absorbed. You just see like the missiles push through and just dissipate back out. As his missile strikes him straight down on the shoulder, kind of like lodging in, and as it lodges in, it's almost like it's digging further and further, and then just disappears from there.
Really quick, just so you know, when a creature you see attacks a target other than you, that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. However, you must have a shield wielded.
He does.
Okay.
Yeah,
he does.
he did enter the room.
Yeah,
with the
so-
shield.
But I'm glad I remember it was disadvantage because that part I forgot.
But also a spell doesn't have a disadvantage to hit unless it says roll to hit. So it'd be like a melee attack.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. It's good to know too. So up next is Ivor.
I'm going to. The cubes are 5, right?
5 feet, yes.
The cubes are 5 feet. Yes.
5, 10, 15, 20. I'm gonna move right there on him.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna pull out the longsword and go to hit.
Okay.
And then 11,
Goes through.
12, or that's 15.
15 to hit,
Yeah.
and it does.
And then 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage.
Plus your strength, right?
I don't think that's on damage.
And
It's
it's how you have
just
shield.
1.8
Oh, okay.
or
I only got
1d8.
10 out.
I know, I only have 9.
Well, what about your advantages?
So wait,
Any advantages?
for-
He's rolling to hit. It's plus your strength, right?
Strength plus your proficiency. So your
No,
proficiency.
he rolled to hit already for his damage.
Oh, damage is just plus your strength.
Plus your
Yeah,
strength.
plus your strength.
Oh,
so
so
7 plus
7.
6.
Yeah.
So that's
13 points of damage.
No, it should be,
No.
you rolled a 7
Yeah,
plus
7,
4,
8,
11.
9, 10, 11.
Okay, so
11.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So 11 points of damage. So as you kind of rush in over at him, he sees you, kind of braces himself, and he's kind of sizing up each person in the room. And tell me how you strike at him.
I'm gonna kind of be quickly pace walking towards him, and at the last second I'm gonna plant the front foot, and I'm gonna throw my back foot out and engage a fighting stance, and I'm gonna rotate kind of like a golf swing, but I'm gonna be putting more of the power is gonna be coming
like
from the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna swing across,
as you do,
trying to go towards his gut area.
As you do, he's kind of still looking at everyone else, and he just catches it with his hand. And the opposing hand, keeping his other hand kind of like focused on the group, he uses his other hand and just catches the blade. But you do see your blade sink in, but you're shocked by how frail this creature to you looks for him to be able to just kind of like stop your blade. And he kind of just shoves you back off, and it kind of like, you get that hit in, and it throws you with your blade. You don't lose your blade, but you're holding onto it almost like it's pulling you away. And you kind of like stumble and spin off.
Do I have a bonus action still?
Yeah, as far as I know, you haven't used a bonus action.
And I'm gonna use second wind.
Second wind? Okay.
For 8 points back.
Okay. And
Second wind, though.
next up we have Tess.
I'm going to cast Hex Curse on him, so I can see him within 30 feet. Then I'm going to shoot him with my crossbow.
Okay. Roll the hit.
And tell everyone what Hex Curse does.
Hex Curse, I've told them earlier, is if you starting level 1, you gain the ability to place a baleful curse on someone. As a bonus action, you choose one target within 30 feet of you. It's cursed for 1 minute. You gain bonus to damage rolls against the cursed target. The bonus equals your proficiency bonus. Any attack roll you make against the cursed target is a critical hit on a 19 or a 20. If the cursed target dies, you regain hit points equal to your warlock level plus your charisma modifier, minimum of 1 hit point.
Okay.
Then I'm using my Hex Warrior weapon at the same time, so I use my charisma instead.
Okay.
So yikes, 4, 4, 5, 6, that's 10.
So as you go to cast it, he kind of recognizes what you're about to do. Again, keep.
Well, the Hex Curse just goes off.
The Hex Curse just goes off,
Yeah.
but just for damage.
That's for damage, my attack.
Your attack for damage.
Because that was
Okay.
bonus action Hex Curse.
So he realizes, he kind of grins, just recognizing that you kind of set this hex on him. But as you go to cast that, shoot your arrow at him, he just kind of flicks it away as if it's nothing. Realizing he's understanding the situation, and he looks over at Pierre. You're up.
I'm going to close the book in my hand. And with my orb, I'm going to say, for release, and cast Sacred Flame. So make sure the spell goes off. It does. So for 8 points, actually I don't have to roll for it. He needs to make a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
If not, he'll take half damage.
Hold on 1 sec. Where is charisma?
I believe it's charisma.
Charisma? You said charisma saving throw?
Correct. I believe. Let me double check. Sacred Flame. Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw. Okay. And what does it need to beat?
It needs to beat 14.
He does not.
Okay. So he takes 8 points of radiant damage, radiant fire damage.
Okay.
And it sort of illuminates around him.
And this seems to disturb him greatly. He does not like this luminous surrounding. He's very much more accustomed to the dark. And it's almost like it's scarring him, like he's kind of shriveling away from its eyes. His pupils go to little tiny, tiny dots. You notice that his eyes are just very bloodshot red. And you're seeing very, very tiny pupils. And he's just like he really wasn't prepared for that.
In my turn, I'm going to say, don't kill him.
Okay. And then we go over to Z.
Alright. So we're not trying to kill him, right?
Are you? You can do whatever you want.
You do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Firebolt to him.
Fireball? Okay. Roll hit. Or Fireball just goes off, right?
Fireball still got to roll to see the spell goes off.
Okay.
It's a cantrip too, so it goes off.
Woo! No. That low on a 2? Is it just pass fail at 1?
Well, 1, 2, 3s typically don't go off.
So yeah, when you go to cast this Fireball, still kind of, you're not used to something kind of almost giving you a little bit of intimidation factor. You used to be the scariest thing in the room, and this has kind of caught you off guard. As you go to cast this Fireball, you kind of like fumble as you put everything together for it, and you kind of like kind of hastily go to cast it off, and it just kind of like sparks and just nothing strikes out. And then we go back to the creature. And this time around,
1, 2, or 3.
This time around, he's going to cast
Yeah, there's usually like a side effect.
poison spray. He's going to extend his hand out towards you, towards. This is a cone. Range 10 feet. Toward a creature. No, a creature you can see with a puff of magic, toxic gas.
So we have to do a
he's
Constitution
going to
saving
actually cast at Ivor over here. He's going to cast his poison spray. He's going to reach his hand out. And as you just see this ball of just steaming death and skulls, shapes of skulls and dust as it forms and gets larger and larger inside. And he just sends it off. And as he does, he rolls and does a 11 hit? Does not. So as it goes, it kind of disapparates. It's almost like he lost control of it. Something has been affecting him. This light is not treating him well. He's not be able to focus his light as good as he typically would be. So it just disapparates from there, and he's starting to look visibly mentally shaken at this point. And we go over to Ivor.
That's right. I have my explorer. I'm gonna pull the rope that lines my backpack of my explorer's pack. I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna quickly tie a knot in a rope, and I'm gonna try and lasso him.
You try to lasso him?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a athletics check.
Athletic.
On your next turn, really quick. Poison spray always hits. They just roll a Constitution.
Oh,
save.
okay.
Yeah, it's just a save. It's not hitting against someone's armor class. Usually spells don't hit against someone's armor class.
Okay.
So like for poison spray, what would happen is he would roll a
Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, Constitution saving throw.
Or take 1d12.
So he just
1d12.
takes.
damage.
Or take the damage.
Yeah, 1d12 poison
roll
damage.
for it.
No.
Yeah, so just next time.
Okay. So
Good to know. I can use it as a
yeah.
ability.
So go ahead and do an athletics check.
I like Yon T's too.
12.
12. So as you do, he kind of again he's squinting at the light that's around him. He sees the kind of rope going through, and just like before, as he turned around instantly, he basically just mimics himself over instantly 3 feet away from where he was standing before, and the rope just kind of passes and lays down and kind of like just drops on the floor to the right of him. He really just seems unaffected by it. He wasn't too concerned about being hit by that rope.
I'm gonna kind of pull it back towards
Okay. And as you do, and him getting a sense for his current situation, he looks around, he looks at everybody, and all of a sudden you just see him bring his hands up, he just claps, and he's gone. And you hear a laughing chuckle as essentially the whole mood in the room changes. Everything feels lighter, fluffier, not as dark, not as heavy feeling.
So what about the hex that Hess casted onto him? Is it still like...
It affects him for 1 minute. If he's gone, then it goes away.
Yeah, you won't know.
Okay, so he cleared it. He cleared the hex basically.
We'll wait until a minute later. If we meet him again within a minute, it's still there.
He's all, hey.
He walks
Yeah.
in, he's like,
So-
"Stop, dude."
So what do you guys do?
Well, that was rather interesting.
That was tough, guys.
Kind of looking through the library. Any books I might like. I'm gonna say, well, definitely some sort of abjuration. Can I do an investigation check in the room?
You can.
Okay. 23.
So, basically what you see again, you see that bookcase. On the bookcase, you know those books, you grab his notebook. You look around, you see what seems to be different potions and vials that are listed on this on top of this desk. That seems to be where he did the majority of his work. There's some crushed up herbs, there's some opened up and chopped up different eyes.
Are there any potion that's look completed?
Yes, there's about 3 completed potions that he had listed on his kind of like in a vial holder out of 6, and you see that 3 of those 6 are empty completely. The last of which still has a drop of dew of whatever the residue of the potion as if it was just freshly used.
Okay, I'll just take the other 3 that are full.
Okay.
And they're labeled, the 3 full ones?
Huh?
Are the 3 full ones labeled?
They just have they have GR written on them.
GR, okay. So, ooh, GR. Interesting. So I'm gonna take the 3 vials that say GR.
Okay.
And put them in my backpack. And then,
You also note,
okay.
because you rolled so high,
Yep.
you also note that you saw this canister on his table. It's a fairly large canister, cylindrical but wide, much like you would similar to the shape of a large drum piece,
Okay.
but all out of some sort of stone. And it catches your eye because of the fact you realize the difficulty that it would take to have essentially sculpt or craft this shape and how accurate
That's your
its dimensions
that's
are.
your area. Well,
It
Okay.
is sealed.
Arcana check.
Okay, check, go for it.
Arcana check. So 5 plus 17.
There's no magic
Okay.
cast upon this canister.
Can I rifle through his notebook and see if there's any notes of interest?
Absolutely. Go for it. You have the
Doing
book.
that. Yeah, I'm just sort of. I still had it in my hand throughout the fight. I kept it, so I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna say, "Well, let's see what our little mad scientist, what kind of kinks he was into."
so Pierre, have you noticed anything in the book yet?
I don't know. Have I?
So, in this book, you're going to notice some journal entries.
Okay.
First, the journal entries. It's at the book is all cast in leather, and it has almost like a burnt press of the title on the book, and it just says Pete Vind on the book. It seems very tattered. It seems very weathered. And as you open it up, you see the first couple entries, and nice handwriting. It's kind of just chronicling what is the average day for this man. Goes out. He said he met some new friends in the forest today. They think can help him. He set up a little camp. He's met some pixies, and he's been examining a lot of the different herbs and trees and stuff and vines that he's finding in the area. And you kind of see this similar trend with some of his entries. And you go forward, you're kind of bored, you skip through a few more pages, and all of a sudden the writing starts to get terrible. It starts to get scratchy and quick. You see splotches of blood on it. You see splotches of black. His entries aren't making any sense anymore. They're just keywords that seem like just jargon, meaningless, until eventually he puts in an entry. He finally dates his last entry. All this was just kind of like jotted out notes. And on his last entry, he noted what you noted to be about 30 years ago. Pete Vind, 30 years ago. That was the last thing he wrote in his book. Looks to you like it's just a journal. Just a strange journal.
Well, it looks like our journalist here used to be pretty normal. Looks like he was a bird watcher, checking out the wildwood.
It's interesting that you noticed that there was pixies written in that from 30 years in the past.
Yeah, it is.
Because the pixies are a little bit of a nuisance around town that I've noticed. And they just recently, well, from what I've heard from the locals, is the pixies just recently started popping up in the area.
Have they?
It's a little interesting.
There was some sort of possession that took place. At least that's what I'm deducing. If you look at the fact that most of this writing is rather kept and clean and normal, and then it just turns into chicken scratch, and perhaps this person was once a man.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if there's any sort of magical source in this room.
Magical source.
Specifically a
arcane
trigger, something.
So
Switching on and off. Or
go ahead.
pulsating.
I guess this is an arcana check. Give me another arcana check.
Yeah, it is, huh?
Nat 20 plus 12, 32.
Nat 20. So you notice that above you, there's this radiating feeling above you. And it's off to the right, up, above the ceiling where you currently are, and over to the right. You get a sense that it's that hole you guys fell through. You start to realize that acts as an on-off switch to activate and deactivate the front door. Almost like some sort of kitty door to let his rats in and out. And as they passed up and down through that hole, it was activated, deactivated, activated, redeactivated,
Four
activated,
switches.
reactivated, to opening up and down.
4 switches.
Like
4
an
switches,
elevator?
3 rats. Gentlemen, there's a 4th rat running around. But I have found why that door is so weird. The hole.
Right.
I'm gonna go up there and be like, listen. Everyone be silent and listen for the board. So I hand them the hole.
And as you do, you just hear a low rumble. And it gets, and it pops out again. Do it again.
Yeah.
And again, it resets itself.
Step back here.
Huh.
I'm just gonna pull up my book and notate the stone thing. Notate that. Say, well, guys, I think I've just about looked at everything in this room that I can. Vess, Ivor, have you guys noticed anything?
Just a bunch of books, isn't it?
Can I
Books,
can I
the
look
canister, the vials, the potions, stuff that he looked at, the skeletons of the primitive little creatures and animals he had on top of the bookshelf.
Can I go over to his bed and look at his nightstand or maybe something over there?
Nightstand. There's really no nightstand. There's just kind of the bed and some cloth, basic cloth, hide bed.
Can I look at behind the bookshelf? Like do a investigation?
Yeah, check behind it.
Or I don't have to roll for it.
Yeah, just go ahead and peek over there.
Okay. Do I notice anything?
You don't. It's just kind of like the back of the wall. If anything, you can tell that this bookcase has been here for quite a long time.
Okay. Well, what about the craftsmanship of the shelf itself?
It seems to be more primitive than that of what you've seen kind of like in town. More thrown together, more hastily, more just to get the job done.
So my investigation, I didn't notice any other ways in or out of this, other than this little random area that.
In your investigation, you notice that as he disappeared and that vibe changed in the room, that pathway, that spiral that you guys came up, cleared up. It's almost as if those rocks falling there were a complete illusion the entire time, and nothing fell behind you guys.
Do I take that in that it was illusionary magic?
You take it as illusionary magic. It can the gist that actually truly happened, and that if you could have just
went through it. Yeah.
Really quick, everyone, pick a spot in the room, put your hand on the wall, and just walk with it. See if your hand falls through anywhere.
So I'm gonna go to the right corner, like back side of the corner.
You guys gonna comb the wall?
Yeah,
I'm
we're just gonna comb the wall.
Everyone give me a d20.
Oh, that's 2. Hold on.
1.
What are we adding to it? Anything?
Wait, a D20.
Just give me a raw.
D20, bud. What are you doing?
Got a big old 7.
You mean the D20 I just rolled to get a 1?
Sorry,
I thought you just rolled that.
So
Got a 7.
who got the highest?
I rolled 17.
So 17.
Yeah, boy.
As you're rolling through, you pass his bed, and in between his bed and where his kind of workspace is, your arm just kind of falls through. Now roll me a d6.
5.
So as you do, you reach and you feel something. You feel something, and you're freely able to move your arm right back. It was just enough space for just that small pocket. And when you do, you find a potion of healing. Looks like it might have been a little keepsake.
Z, did you find something?
Guys, I found a potion of healing.
I
You will no longer charge me, good sir, for healing me.
That's one use. I've got many.
Hopefully we become good friends so you don't charge me.
Perhaps.
Maybe we can go together on.
I like how you charged him. That's pretty sweet.
Speaking of which, you good sir, I want my gold coin.
I don't have it anymore. So
You just ate it.
That's
you
fine.
ate it for dinner.
That's fine because you and I, all of us, are gonna work together.
So
Spurs obviously
Are we?
isn't dead. The chances are he returns. So all I say,
Should
we sack his lab, see if we can anger him into coming back, and if not, we destroy the place.
Boy, that sounds like an ideal to me.
And for some reason, Ivor, I think you would be the great candidate for this.
So we start.
I'm gonna start stretching. I haven't stretched in a minute.
okay.
I'm gonna start stretching. Just let me know.
I'm gonna comb over the books real quick, see if there's any books on magic, anything.
Give me investigation.
18 plus 6, 24.
So, all of the books kind of have scribbled out etchings as if he kind of disagreed with the way the books were titled, except for one book, very thin book, very tattered, old, and it just states resurrection on the binding. Very small cursive handwriting.
Okay, I'm gonna read this one.
Okay. As you do, there's nothing in any of the pages. You open it up, blank.
Pierre, is there anything in that book?
There's not.
Could you
Just tattered,
like
tattered,
arcane
withered
check on
paper.
it?
I
To see if
could.
there's any magic in that book?
Good idea. Can I see if it has any magical properties? 9 plus 12, 21.
It does not.
Doesn't. Okay.
Fucking plus 12 though.
No, but
Is there any like
I'm gonna start with
invisible
this
writing?
book. I'm gonna begin to rip the pages out slowly.
Okay.
As he's doing that, I'm gonna walk to the bookshelf and find another book. And I'm gonna use my investigation.
As he does do that, and you're walking over, you just hear a loud howling throughout the entirety of the cave. Each page, almost like you're tearing apart someone's flesh.
Now, I can keep tearing this, or you can come have a chat with me. I'm a fellow scholar, it would be rude not to.
And you hear your voice echoing through it. Screeching, rage, anger.
Do we know where the source is from?
Yeah, can we pinpoint it?
It's almost audibly happening to all of you at the same time, surrounding you.
So there's no
There's no
pinpoint
source.
to it. Okay.
They got Dobie.
I'm gonna close it, and I'm going to cast Sacred Flame on the bookshelf and the rest of the books, other than the ones he grabbed.
On the bookshelf?
Yeah.
So I just
see
grab, like,
if something
2
happens
books.
as it spell goes off.
Okay. He immediately appears in the center of the room and just whisks the fire out.
Stop, everyone.
And he's looking around.
Are you a part of this room? Is that what ties your magic to it?
He's just looking around. He's just paralyzed.
You
He's not paying
found this place. You stayed here, and this place slowly turned you, didn't it? Is that what happened?
In that notebook,
He's
you wrote
panicking.
that you've been
His
here
breathing,
for 30
his breathing
years.
is heavy. He's slowly like something's he's fighting within himself.
So within
Pete
this,
Vind!
And as you do that, he kind of lunges back, the arch out of his back, kind of snaps, and he cracks back into place, and his pupils redilate back. The red seeps back into his face.
Can I religion check to see if he's possessed?
You can.
I think my religion.
Pierre, I don't know what you're doing, but keep going.
Oh god, it's that one!
That one? You have no idea. It makes no sense to you what's happening in front of you.
I have no clue what's going on, but keep Pete Vind. Speak, or Ivor over here destroys that bed.
And he's... Who are you? Where am I? Why are we here?
What's your name?
What is your name?
My name's Pete. Pete Vind.
Pete, what do you remember?
Well, I missed my dearest wife, and I was traveling into the forest, and I met...
Pete, it's crucial that we get you out of this place, but Ivor here is going to tie you up. We're not going to hurt you.
What? Why?
Listen, calm down. We're not going to hurt you, but we may have to take you away from this place to protect you from whatever evil is happening here.
Am I under attack?
No, we won't hurt you. We're just trying to keep you safe.
And all this, and during this time, you kind of see like he's starting to flush. Before he was much more pale, like, almost like
He's trying to get
like
his
a
color
dead
back.
white. His skin,
Sorry, he's getting his color back.
even though it's still haggard and old and wrinkly, it's kind of getting a little bit of buoyancy back. It's coming up. His cheeks are starting to show up a little bit more. His the streaks aren't as long in his face. He's getting more peach colored. You can see the nails that he once had are kind of receding a little bit. They're
I'm gonna
not.
nod to Ivor to tie this guy up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk over and put the lasso around him, and then kind of tie it right
And
here.
as you do,
and
you
then-
realize how easy it is to do. It's almost like his body is like it's very easy for you to tie.
You're not so tight.
Yes.
And then
Extra tight.
Yes. Keep your crossbow
Fasten it
right.
real
Follow
tight.
behind us. We'll lead him out.
We'll lead the way.
Take your book.
Has this only been about a minute?
Should anything happen,
He was
start
cleared of
ripping
all.
pages from the books.
I got it.
This is
If
the book
anything
one of
goes
your
on,
tweets, it doesn't go away.
rip the pages.
Very well.
Is the book? Did you rip the title off? Did you rip the front off, or just the inside page?
Just the inside pages.
pages.
Okay. How many pages did you rip?
Probably 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
right.
When I'm gonna look over and I'm gonna say, Pete, we're going to escort you out of here and back to that lovely woman you were talking about.
She's gone. She's gone. She's gone.
We'll take you.
I don't know where this is. Please take me out of here.
I want to use
Sure,
my
sure.
persuasion to calm him.
and he's gonna look over at you, and he's gonna be a little intimidated by you, but understands that this is something he has no control over, and he's just gonna go along with the flow here.
Okay.
So, you guys.
So
we're gonna leave.
We're gonna lead him out of the cave.
Okay, and so you guys go up the spiral staircase. He's very slow about it. It's almost like he's never walked this space before, which is odd to you because you would assume that he'd be very comfortable.
And as we're walking, I'm gonna say, guys, there were pattern of 4 when we came in on the switch, and we've only seen 3 giant rats. So please stay alert.
Very well.
Could be a 4th running around. Yeah, that's all I want. I just wanted to say so everyone was kind of alert.
Wait, am I holding this guy?
I think you're dragging him. Yeah,
I'm dragging him. All right, so
he's coming with you. He's
walking.
just slower.
Can I just rotate rope to the other hand and pull the shield out to be ready?
Okay, and you guys make it up, and you are heading towards the hole. How do you want to treat the hole? Are you going right through the hole? You moving forward?
Approach with caution. Kind of inspect the area again because we haven't been there in that hole for a minute. You want to inspect the area?
Yeah. Why don't you and I go up there? These 2 watch him, and we'll call the all clear.
All right. I'm gonna hold a book in my left hand as we're walking, like close to my
I'm gonna
chest
hand
as
the
we're
other
walking.
book to Tess. I'm gonna say, hey, if anything goes wrong with him, start ripping pages, and then I'm going to, with my orb, just and then go up into this room.
And you look up in the room, and when you do, you guys ascend up the hole. Again, it's a hole, but it's on a slant. You're able to kind of walk.
We
up
crawl up it.
You crawl up it, yeah. And it kind of has a little bit of slide to it, but you're still able to outdo the slide and get up the hole. And you notice with your light passing from this space into the middle room, as you would have known before, you see a dead rat. And this rat doesn't seem to have any injuries to it, any ailments to it. It's just not breathing and it's just dead in the middle of the floor.
Eldritch Blast.
Okay? And you do. It just vaporizes it. And just the smell of just a mist of blood, and you just smell the dead odor and burnt hair.
Yeah, what were you thinking, man?
Fills the room. It just completely vaporizes.
Just be safe and sorry. Now, before we take them up, you start on that side. I'll start on this side. Comb the room again. We're gonna comb the room.
Both of you roll a d20.
18.
Sees it.
20!
Sees it.
So,
I win!
as you do, you comb the wall.
He double wins, dude.
And you pull, and you feel your hand sinks into another pocket.
This fucking guy, man.
And as you sink into this pocket, roll a d6.
Oh my god.
Z, I think you might be a private detective.
I roll another 5.
And you find yet another healing potion. Just a pocket just big enough for you to fit your hand and pull that one space out.
Here, I pulled a potion. I think it's a potion of healing. So, remember that time that I told you would not charge me for healing? I meant it.
Alright, Z, I'm tired of you combing the room. Well done. Perhaps we start our own investigation service. Alright, guys, we have the all clear. Come on up.
Should we make stuff for them to be easier for them to make up,
this guy in case
so they don't have to crawl with the...
We'll just help them when they climb up. And as they climb up, we're just...
So I will hand us the rope first, and we'll get...
Can you change the concentrate?
We're gonna assist them both.
So
up
we're
and
gonna...
I'm gonna pull, just shove this guy, dude.
He just stumbles. He stumbles forward. He doesn't understand. He really does not understand why this is happening or who any of you are. Right. And you guys move forward to the door. And so you two went in.
Yeah, we go into the...
No, this is the thresher, or is this one of the first 3 rooms?
You're in the final, the first room, like the foyer of the entrance. So you see that door.
Okay, and that's the one we just combed?
No.
You comb the middle one. Okay. This one's basically like a small expanse, whereas the other room.
Comb this one anyway.
Yeah, I wanna help here with the combing.
Fucking mind.
And you guys don't find
it.
it.
Good.
Damn.
Okay. All right.
I was really hoping for another potion, Pierre.
Now, before we step outside the door, let's just once again be at the ready. I don't know how he's going to
Don't worry,
react.
I have his book in case anything else
I'm gonna
happens.
slowly open the door.
I'm just gonna push him through.
I'm gonna
You push him through?
Yep.
Roll for a d20.
Roll what?
Roll d20 on strength.
5.
Okay. So he just kind of stumbles out there, and he's out there in the light. And he's almost baffled about why just the sheer sunlight is going to be... Oh, no, it's
It was
dark.
late at
It's dark.
night, yeah.
So he's
dark.
just looking around trying to understand where he is. He doesn't quite understand.
Right.
And all of a sudden he straightens up again, drops to his knees. And he looks back at you. And as he looks back at you, you just see him age and age and age and age and wither and age and age. And he just falls and crumbles apart.
I'm gonna let go
Wait,
of the
is he
rope.
dead?
He's gone. You just see a pile of skeleton.
Pierre, what do
And
you
dust.
suppose happened to Pete?
He was connected to the room.
Was it
30
So,
years.
yeah.
30 years was the last.
last entry in that book before it turned into chicken scratch?
The book was keeping him alive. It was giving him youth, or the room was giving him youth. My guess is if we go to town and ask of a Pete Vind, perhaps they will know of
I'm gonna comb
Pete
through the
Vind.
book once more, Pierre.
So as you look at that book, all that are written on any of the pages just ha 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 ha. Just every page is just ha 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 on every single page of the Resurrection book now.
rip all the pages out. Rip the rest of the pages out.
And as you rip the rest of the pages out, the actual binding and the title of the book just turns into a mist, and you see but a face with 2 glowing red eyes as it pans the room, and it disappears.
Well, I'm going to
What about the other 2 books that I have?
keep them. We're going to destroy this place. Let's leave.
Okay. And it's at this point it is peak midnight. Moon straight up. Vision is a little bit better than it was, just because you have a little bit more of a beaten path. You know the path you're traveling.
I threw the
Full
door
moon.
off as far as I could.
And it just goes. It just goes.
I'm going to cast a series of Eldritch blasts inside there until I'm sort of panting, just doing as much destruction as I can.
And as you do it, you see more and more chunks of the cave just fall and collapse, fall and collapse, fall and
help him
collapse.
with the,
And it's just
fireball.
filling and filling and filling. And at one point you see as a huge doof slam occurs. And then just a lot of rubble is occurring. You get the sense that that middle area where the upper floor separates the lower floor had just collapsed.
Okay.
And amongst that just filled in.
Can I arcane a check now to sort of see if there's any magic or anything left emanating from the rubble?
Go for it.
15.
You don't notice anything.
Okay.
You feel it's just back to a normal hillside. No sense of movement or otherwise.
Okay.
Well,
What
guys,
about? So, what do you feel about that rat? Do you think it was down there? That 4th rat?
I think
might still be
it's the
roaming
one we
around.
destroyed
Okay.
that was dead. Well,
Just wanna double check that.
here's the deal. We can do 2 things. One, we can go back with a very sad tale of an old man that died. Explain what happened. Or 2, they believed the evil to be vanquished when you brought their son back. We don't mention this, and tomorrow we do our own job.
I don't want to scare the people.
I'm gonna look up towards the moon and kind of judge it a little bit. I go, I think our next job's gonna be starting here soon.
Let's go to
So, how about we keep this to ourselves and not alarm the people of the land? And we'll come back and investigate it at a later time, like you suggested.
Why don't we
That's
tell
wise.
him about Pete?
Before we
not.
leave, I'm gonna grab Z's quarterstaff and again push it into my shield to create the super shovel, and I'm gonna shovel some dirt out, and I'm just gonna bring all of his bones into that, and then push that back over the top.
Very well. Thank you for using my quarterstaff for such a hefty
Well,
job.
I'm gonna give it
that.
back
I'll
to him.
mage hand a stone
Okay.
and put a stone like at the headrest of it
Okay.
and sort of pat Ivar on the back, saying, "You're right, Ivar. Where were
Do you
my
have any
manners?"
tools to carve in on it?
As you put that stone there, you
well.
take a look around, and
No, I
you
don't
see
actually,
4 or 5 little lights pop up, and one of them
What's those little pixies again?
flies over to you and looks kind of pans at everyone. Doesn't say anything. It's the first time you've ever seen a pixie not be fluttering its rings and battering around and super bubbly and chirping and talking to another. It's just very sullen looking around, and it just
Can I,
sits.
explain
it
to them
just
what this is,
sits.
pixie?
It doesn't hear anything you say. It just sits right on the stone and just lays down on the stone, and you just see it weeping over the stone that you've placed.
Oh shit.
Do you think
Take our
that?
leave.
Yeah.
Very well.
Take our leave.
So we'll just go ahead and start making our trails back to the farm.
And you guys look
Or
back,
actually-
and as you look back, you see just a swarm of those pixies going around and just laying around around his stone.
Okay.
Let's head back to the tree that you were crafting, doing your craft work.
My tree.
Yes, your tree. Let's head in that direction.
Okay.
We'll just head in that direction. We're
Okay.
not gonna,
Okay.
like,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were inviting yourselves in. Just kidding. I'm a bit. As we're walking,
Remember
I'm
those
just gonna
healing potions, bro.
make- So Z, where do you come from?
I come from a land far, far away. I don't have a name for that town that we came from.
You guys came together, you and Ivor.
Yeah, we came from.
You guys known each other a long time?
Artisan. Yeah, we've met at a guild where we learned a guild trade of artisans of crafting. What is it?
Carpentry.
Carpentry and roofing.
I'm a carpenter myself.
What? No.
Yes. I'm actually building a treehouse.
We've
watching.
noticed that your work is very intriguing. You work very fast, and I appreciate
I'm but a
fine
small
art.
lord.
Trade some.
I
trade
appreciate
some
it.
stuff now and then.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
this tree that you're working on, let's discuss about that real quick. Would you like a hand in building a fort of some sort?
I'm a
Sure, I'm gonna build
worker.
more of like a 500 square foot tree house with a ladder up to it. But there's a tree identically across the way that maybe perhaps you guys would like to hand at building your own.
Very
We'll
well.
build a nice little bridge across, raise some chickens, some cows.
Actually, we got some cattle and some chickens from Agar for completing a job well done.
do you really?
And all the while,
I have 2 cows.
Ivor is fervorously jotting down notes and taking notes and writing down ideas and sketching these things out.
Sketching ideas for our new fort pretty well.
Why don't we come together as we work so well in the cave and sort of accomplish things?
That sounds wonderful to me. I would love to work with a fine artist such as yourself.
Thank you. Yes. Excellent. Well, then business partners. No more charging for heals.
Thank you, sir.
Damn it!
I have potions, so I no longer need healing.
Excellent. Yeah, and we're just gonna carry on our way.
And so this is how we're gonna essentially end our session with you guys heading back to your little hut you've put together.
Ivor and I will head to the opposite side of the tree that he was
your
picking up
little,
and start crafting our woodman chips. And I'm not sure what we would be doing. Would you be following us, or would you be going with them?
That's my question for you.
Whatever you want to do.
You're your own character at the moment, bro.
But also next week I won't be.
So you can go back.
Well, no. Just give us a position of who you're what you're doing,
I would,
so he can.
I would assume I
control.
would be more with you guys than him, because he bought his own chunk of land. Even though he said I was gonna be staying with him, I don't want to impose myself. I'm gonna go ahead and just sleep in the shack.
Here, what would you like to do with Hess? Would you mind if Hess accompanied you?
No, not at all. Sorry.
Very well.
So
No phones.
So yeah,
I know, sorry.
you'll
I got
end
emergency text.
back at your guys' place, and you'll end at the shed. And
a
you're gonna go ahead and take a short rest before we begin our next quest, which will begin with
Could it be a long
the
rest?
Bond adventure.
No,
or Bond
There's not
adventure.
gonna be no 8 hours sleep in between.
I need 8 hours.
You're gonna get 2.
Oh
Maybe.
God! Give me. Wait, it's midnight. We're gonna be working at 2 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock.
He said 3 a.m.
Now I know why these sessions feel so quick.
Does that feel quick?
Yeah, super quick.
Cool. So what'd you guys think?
It was good. You
Oh, I
good?
loved it. You
fun.
did a fantastic job, and thank you. I'm thanking you for the ideas.
I am shocked you guys were able to procure him out of that.
We wouldn't have been able to do it without Drew.
Honestly, God, we wouldn't have. You literally took the lead on this. I'm such a rookie. I would have never thought to search the room.
Just gotta go for it. Just take lots of chances and see. A lot of times you just grasp at straws, but
The resurrection book.
Yeah, I just
I didn't
never-
think you'd ever find that. I never thought you would be able to bring Pete back as a whole.
Pete.
Pete.
Well, I never thought of like, well, this is my first time like adventuring, so I never like know what to do. Like I'm a complete amateur.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have like someone that has experience.
Hear me out. Even in our campaign, we don't.
What about the bridge, bro?
No. Yeah.
That's the bridge right there.
What? No.
Yeah.
In our first ever campaign where we met Tames's character or whatever, he tried to get us to like search the room better and stuff after that because he's like, oh yeah, if you could grab this and like hit that and this would have happened and this would have happened. And even since then, we're like, nah, fuck searching the room. We're just gonna go balls to the wall.
We
kill
really
things,
do.
dude.
There's like zero investigation.
These
checks
by the
in our
way,
campaigns.
these by the
Because
way,
we died so many times in the first one. I'm like, I ain't doing it.
these by the way are not all potions.
I know.
For one thing, I shuffled them. I didn't know what result you were gonna get. I had those 2 pockets in mind. The first one by his bed was an 18 to 20 to be able to get it, and the one at the exit was a 20. And essentially, that was only as essentially if he's being bombarded and he's unprepared for it. He's gonna like reach in and like be ready for it. And the other one was if he's needing to escape, but you weren't gonna. I just didn't think that was gonna be a thing.
Fuck, man, this is amazing.
This motherfucker gets both.
I was like,
rolls an 18. He's like, hell yeah, I got this.
I smiled when you were like, here's like, do a investigation check on this room. I was like, there's no way, dude. There's no way. 20. I was like,
I totally piggybacked off of you. I feel okay. So the next episode, I'm gonna give you one of these potions because I totally piggybacked off of you.
No, don't keep them.
You gotta keep them.
I'm a healer.
Piggybacked, bro.
I'm a healer. I don't.
Yeah.
You guys keep your stuff. No, you found him. It's fair and square. It's fun as hell. You're doing really good.
Also,
I totally
I'm gonna
piggybacked.
come back as a warlock.
No, your roleplay is really good.
All right, give me 1 sec. So, thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 2 of Adventaria Voliguard. I hope you had some fun, and please, if you would, leave us a comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.